Wet, drizzly afternoon at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where the Bears meet the Philadelphia Eagles. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris here in Philadelphia, and of course, the weather conditions that may have some effect on this game. And Johnny Morris, last week, Vince Evans had an outstanding afternoon despite the losing cause against the Detroit Lions, and he will have the start today.
Yes, he will, Tim. In fact, he had his best day as a Chicago Bear, 28 of 45 for 336 yards. And as you know, he was under pressure from Detroit all afternoon, was able to scramble around and complete his passes. The weather could have an effect on that. How well will he be able to scramble today?
Well, today's against the Philadelphia Eagles defense that was #1 in the NFC until last week when they gave up 522 yards against Dallas. But Evans and the Bears know they're in tough defensively.
That's right. Philadelphia really did get bombed out last week, but as Marion Campbell, now the head coach, and he used to be the defensive coordinator, he points out that over the last 5 years, they've allowed the fewest points of any team in the National Football League, and they've never had 2 bad games on defense in a row. They had a bad one last week. We'll see what happens today, and we're just about set for the kickoff.
All right, John. Bears will receive as we take a look at Marion Campbell on the sidelines. Tony Franklin, the barefooted kicker for the Eagles, will kick it off. It is 53 degrees at the moment, and humidity is high, obviously, as rain is still falling. It is kind of a drizzle right now. It has let up some, so there is some prospect that it will stop before too long this afternoon. We will find out. The deep men are Anthony Hutchison and Ricky Watts for the Bears. From the 7-yard line, it is Hutchison, number 32, a flying tackle by number 35, Perry Harrington, reserve running back, stopping Hutchison in the open field at the 17-yard line of the Bears. Chicago will defend to our right, and they bring out Vince Evans at quarterback, Matt Suey and Walter Payton, the running backs. Payton missed a couple of days of practice this week with his bad knee. Marjoram and Galt, the wide receivers. Across the front, Covert, Jackson, Neal, Becker, Van Horn, and Emery Moorhead, the tight end. Last week, the Bears came out throwing against Detroit. Evans had himself quite an afternoon, but they lost. Let's see what they do today. Mike Ditka has indicated he wants to run the football, and the Eagles are saying the same thing. In motion behind the quarterback, Ken Marjoram. They give us to Suey. Cutting back against the grain, he picks up about 4 yards over the 20 to the 22-yard line. Reggie Wilkes, linebacker number 51 on the left side, made the tackle. So a pickup of about 5 yards for Matt Suey. Defensively for the Eagles, a 3-4 sees Dennis Harrison and Carl Hairston on the ends, Ken Clark on the nose. Wilkes, Robinson, Briggs, and Williams are the linebackers. And a secondary of Roynell Young, Herman Edwards, Randy Logan, and starting for the rookie Wes Hopkins, who is out with a thigh injury, is Brenard Wilson, number 22. 2nd and 5. Oh, what a fine defensive play by Ken Clark, the nose man, slipping in to nail Walter Payton as he got the ball. A loss on the play of about 3.
Oh, he was into center Dan Neal before Neal could even react to that, and boy, did he bust across the line of scrimmage and shut the Bears down as the Eagles go into their prevent defense. And as you know, they make all kinds of substitutions. A couple of linebackers come out. Williams and Wilkes, the 2 inside guys, stay in. And so now we have a definite pass defense situation.
Hairston and Harrison become the ends. Harvey Armstrong and Greg Brown come inside. They become the ends, and Hairston and Harrison become the tackles. Dennis Devon and Ray Ellis have joined the secondary. It is 3rd down and about 8.
Dennis McKinnon is in for Chicago.
Out of the shotgun up the middle. It is tipped and nearly intercepted. Intended for McKinnon, went off his fingertips and then off the fingers of Brenard. But the Eagles have stopped the Bears on their first offensive series. Chicago will punt. Veterans Stadium, the site of the World Series that ended last week with the Phillies, of course, losing to Baltimore. And today a football crowd in attendance, but a light one in these rainy conditions. There are many, many empty seats. Bob Parsons, number 86, stands at his 5-yard line. The deep man is Glenn Young, rookie wide receiver, number 89. You'll be seeing plenty of him today in the Eagles passing offense. Long count for the Bears on this punt. Parsons lets it go, gets a Bears bounce, and rolls out of bounds at the 40-yard line of the Philadelphia Eagles, who start with fairly good field position, and that really thanks to the open field tackle by Perry Harrington, and then a good defensive job against the Bears offense. Offensively for the Philadelphia Eagles, Ron Jaworski, making his 97th consecutive start. Michael Williams, the rookie at running back for the injured Wilbert Montgomery. Hubie Oliver, the fullback. Harold Carmichael, Mike Quick. The receivers, Walters, Kenny Morris, Baker, Sizemore, and Vito Cav. The offensive line. They start in the I formation. In motion behind the ball off the wing is Michael Haddix, number 26. They give to Michael Williams. Williams, the rookie from Mississippi College, picked up about 2 yards on the play behind the left tackle. Was stopped there by Al Harris and Dan Hampton, with the cornerback Mike Richardson getting in on it. 2nd and 7. Well, interesting start for the Eagles, Johnny, in that they went immediately to a new formation with Michael Haddix up on the wing, number 26, the rookie running back and their number 1 pick.
Well, they have decided they want to run that ball. As you look at Haddix there on the wing, Marion Campbell says we have got to reestablish the run.
So they've got 3 running backs in their lineup. Haddix in motion behind the ball. Pitch out to Williams. Williams gets around Otis Wilson. Is met on the corner, but after a good pickup of about 5, maybe 6 yards, Jeff Fisher, number 24, playing for the injured Gary Fensick, drove him out of bounds. And let's see how close he got to the marker. The Bears defensively, Hartenstein, Steve McMichael getting a start ahead of Jim Osborne at left tackle, Dan Hampton and Al Harris. The linebackers, Wilson, Singletary, and Dan Raines. Secondary, Michael Richardson, Leslie Frazier, Jeff Fisher for the injured Gary Fensick, as we said, and Todd Bell. Terry Schmidt is back in the lineup defensively, and we'll see some action as the Bears nickel back today, coming back from a hip injury. First down for the Eagles at midfield. From the I formation, they stay with Haddix on the wing. They give to the lead back, Oliver. He is hit immediately by Todd Bell, forcing the play from his safety position, but he got through him and was stopped by Richardson 5 yards downfield.
Boy, Haddix, they've given him a tough job. He's got to come in motion and block some of those defensive linemen in the middle of the line. And that time, Haddix had to put a block on Dan Hampton, number 99, and he did it. He did a good job. And anytime you tackle Hampton, you're tackling about 275 pounds of romping, stomping dynamite.
2nd and 8 for the Eagles. Haddix had been benched as a running back the last couple of games. This is Michael Williams, and a diving tackle by Mike Hartenstein, wrapping him around the legs just at the line of scrimmage. They'll give him maybe a half yard. Mike Hartenstein, number 73.
Let's take a look at Haddix on this play. This time the Bears, the pursuit is real good, and you're going to see number 73, Hartenstein, get by his block, but Haddix goes through, then tries to twist around and get Mike Singletary, number 50, and he did manage to push Singletary out of the play, but Hartenstein was in on the tackle. Passing situation coming up. Let's see if they go to the pass or whether they're going to stick with this run.
3 wide receivers are in. Terry Schmidt has come in at the nickelback position for the Bears. Glenn Young has joined Quick and Carmichael. First pass for the Eagles. They flare it out for the fullback, Oliver, and Jaworski overthrew it. So the Bears stop the Eagles on their 2nd try after the Eagles had picked up a first down. And now Philadelphia will have to punt. Tom Skladany, number 5, acquired as a free agent after the Lions turned him loose. He had been a holdout there with the Detroit Lions going back to last season. And the 5-year man from OSU, now a Philadelphia Eagle. Deep for the Bears is Dennis McKinnon, number 85, in his first punt returning duties. McKinnon, the rookie from Florida State, wide receiver. Willie Gault has been returning kicks. Jeff Fisher had done some. The Bears have not done much in that department, so McKinnon gets a try, standing at his 10. Skladany angling, and it will be short and out of bounds. Now it gets a good Philadelphia bounce. It was headed out of bounds. It kicked back in when it landed and winds up at the 5-yard line. So Skladany got a little bit of luck.
That wound up going off the side of his foot. Looked like a bad punt. Turned out to be beautiful as the Bears are back in their own territory. 0-0 first quarter. This shot gives you an idea how much it is raining, and there is one area of the field at the 25-yard line that is very, very wet. So whether the Bears try and avoid that or not, but they didn't get the Zamboni there, Tim.
Well, they may have had it out. They did have it out pre-game and did the field, but maybe there's a little depression there that has created some casual water. The Zamboni, of course, that machine that was invented for hockey rinks, it's now used on artificial surfaces as well to sweep up the casual water. First down for the Chicago Bears. Evans, quarterback. Suey Good hard running by Matsui, picking his way over the 10-yard line to about the 11, and some good blocking out the right side behind Kurt Becker and Keith Van Horn. Linebacker Anthony Griggs made the stop.
You talk about two diametrically opposed teams. The Bears are number 1 in the NFC in total offense, yet they have a record of 2-5. And the Eagles are about, what, 14th in total offense in the NFC, and they have a record of 4-3. So it's what you do inside that 20 that really makes a difference.
Jay Saldi has come in, replacing Emery Moorhead at tight end for the Bears. 2nd and 5. Payton in motion. Suey trying the right side and plows for about 2 yards. The Eagles stacked that up fairly well on the right side of their defensive line. Suey gained about 3. It'll bring up an interesting call at 3rd and a long 1. Robinson and Wilson were the tacklers for the Eagles.
As you look at Coach Mike Ditka, he's in the middle with the earphones on. A man who has made a lot of noise for the Chicago Bears this year. As you look at Marion Campbell in the yellow jacket right there, and the cap, former defensive coordinator of the Eagles, now the head coach, and he loves defense.
First little test of the day. He's calling the defense. Ditka's calling the offense on 3rd and 1. Walter Payton has it. Flag is down. Payton to the 20-yard line. Got a good block out there on the right tackle side behind Van Horn. Renard Wilson and the cornerback Roynell Young with linebacker Reggie Wilkes, number 51, all combining to stop Payton. It usually takes more than one to do it.
But we have a holding penalty, so the Bears are going to be backed up and have a tough situation now. Rather than the 3rd and 1, they're going to have 3rd and long.
It's marched back to the 7-yard line.
Holding, number 52, offense.
Dan Neal, the center,
Still
was
3rd
caught
down.
for holding as the Eagles come in with their 3rd down defense.
Dick Jorgensen, our referee this afternoon, making his first call of the day. Neil Garib is the umpire. Bob McLaughlin, the head linesman. Dick McKenzie, the line judge. Roy Clymer, Dave Hawk, and Dick Dolak are the other officials.
As you saw from that stat, the Bears have been penalized 20 this year. Not nearly. The Eagles have been not penalized nearly as much.
Shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers, McKinnon, Marjoram, and Galt. From the end zone, Evans deep. He's got McKinnon open. McKinnon has to wait for the ball, and he cannot hold on, but interference will be called against Renard Wilson, number 22. McKinnon, by slowing up, waiting for the ball, actually forced the interference by Wilson. Wilson did not see where the ball was and collided with McKinnon, so a break for the Bears there.
Not too often does Vince Evans throw the ball short. Had he been able to throw it further down the field, however, it was a long pass, they would have had a touchdown, but you called it just exactly
number
right.
22, defense, first down.
It was about 60 yards in the air as it was, Johnny, but it was short.
You can't blame him for throwing it short then, can you?
Nope.
There's the contact as he comes back for the ball. I don't know.
I think that's a good call. McKinnon had a chance to catch that. Indeed, the ball, I think he actually made some contact with the football. And his first down for Chicago, a 43-yard penalty, it turns out to be, against the Eagles. The Bears at midfield. Pitch out Payton. Payton dives about feet into the air trying to get some extra yardage. Wound up with about a 5-yard gain to the 45-yard line of Philadelphia. He was literally fielded by Herman Edwards and Jerry Robinson.
And take a look at the interference out in front. You're going to see Kurt Becker and Keith Van Horn both pulling the right guard and the right tackle, and they're out in front to get the key blocks to push the defense down the field. Herman Edwards finally gets in on the tackle, but the Bears got outside and got both their linemen out in front. So that may be a key as to what we're going to see a little bit later in this game. If they can get outside like that with the linemen, nobody to knock down the interference, they have something going.
Herman Edwards made like Gary Matthews of the Phillies,
yeah,
making the catch on Walter Payton. 2nd and a long 4. Marjoram and Galt, the wide receivers, in the slot left. Suey straight ahead. Good running by Suey. A good hole behind the right guard. Becker in the center, Neal. Dennis Harrison and Renard Wilson making the tackle, but Suey has advanced the yardsticks to the 39-yard line of Philadelphia.
First down, Chicago. And you talk about a big play on that interference. They had the Bears boxed back almost to their end zone, and all of a sudden now they're down on the 39-yard line. So the Philadelphia defense is going to be tested right here.
Matt Suey's carried 4 times with a nifty 5-yard average. He's got 20 yards. Slot formation out to the left. Galt wide left, Marjoram in the slot. They're in the pro set. To give us to Payton. Evans nearly ran into it. Payton is shut off by Dennis Hairston, number 78. Hairston went in there unmolested and met Payton at the corner.
And I think there was a little bit of a mix-up on the handoff here. The play got started a little bit late, but take a look at number 78, Harrison here, as he plays off the block and then comes by Van Horn, 78, who's going to throw his block on Williams, and there's Harrison, 78, making the tackle on Payton, who never really got started.
Second and about 13. It turns into a 3-yard loss for the Chicago Bears. Ball is at the Eagles 42. No score. Draw play. Suey. Eagles read it. Suey breaks tackles, gets back to the line of scrimmage. They had him all the way back at the 49. Carl Hairston, he could not hold on. Suey wound up gaining about a yard, but it is still 3rd and long at the 40-yard line, 3rd and 11.
And Anthony Griggs, who really got through there too, who thought he had Suey. Watch number 58 blitz right through there, gets him by the ankles, and Suey gets out of it and gets some more yardage. Anthony Griggs a little frustrated there. That's what you call a run blitz.
Well, this normally efficient Philadelphia defense ran into problems like that last week against Dallas. Missed tackles against a tough runner named Tony Dorsett. Ellis and Devon are in defensively. Payton breaks loose. Payton is now upset. A good diving tackle by number 24, Ray Ellis, the reserve safety, but Payton broke tackles at the line of scrimmage for a gain of about 8 yards. Nonetheless short of the first down. The ball will be 4th down at the 34-yard line of the Eagles.
So now the Bears have the decision as to whether they're going to punt, go for it, try for the field goal. If they went for a field goal, it would be
a long one.
A long one,
The
yes.
entire Bears offense was looking over at Coach Mike Ditka, waiting for the call. And I don't see a punter. Now there's a timeout. So whatever came in with some of the confusion that has plagued the Bears throughout the early part of this season. And there you see somewhat unhappy Mike Ditka having used up a timeout. 5:42 remaining, first period, no score. Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris at Veterans Stadium, a drizzly day in Philadelphia. Scoreless, 4th down. The Bears evidently are going for it. They have the ball, 4th and about 5. It's really a long 4. The ball is at the 34-yard line of the Eagles.
Dunsmore is now in at the tight end spot.
Ricky Watts has also come in as a wide receiver. He was in uniform a week ago against Detroit, but did not see any action. Now McKinnon has come in and replaced Watts, who was on the field. They've got 3 wide receivers in. Evans in the shotgun. Has lots of time. Now runs out of it. He'll have the first down at least and gets out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Make it the 19. He got to the 19-yard line where Roynell Young forced him out. He had ample protection, but there was good coverage down. Evans took off for the first down.
Evans was looking for Dunsmore, number 78, a fine rookie for the Bears, is becoming into his own, but look at the double coverage there. You can see Robinson, and Evans, who is reacting to this coverage here, as Dunsmore is covered, runs to the outside and gets the first down. Evans is so quick once he decides to run. No way for the tight end to catch one there.
The ball was correctly spotted by me for the first time at the 24-yard line of the Philadelphia Eagles. Slot formation left, first down, Chicago. First threat of the game by either team. Payton gets over the 20, forced out at the 19-yard line by Jerry Robinson. Talking to Jerry Robinson yesterday about Walter Payton, like everybody else, especially linebackers, know they're going to have a busy afternoon when Walter Payton comes to town. Number 56, Jerry Robinson, number 1 choice of the Eagles in 1979, and one man who plays every defensive play. They do a lot of substituting these days on all teams, as they do with the Eagles defense, but Mr. Robinson gets the entire day on the field defensively.
And he says he loves playing on the inside because he gets to hit people more.
Second down, about 6 to go. Chicago, Marjoram in motion. They give it to Payton. He's met at the line of scrimmage by Ken Clark. The nose tackle. Those nose tackles, Johnny, are often kind of burrowing around in the artificial turf. On that play, Clark straightened right up, and Payton ran right into him.
And you know, it's a funny play because Noah Jackson was a pulling guard, was going to lead through. He got through fine. They let him go. They said, you haven't got the ball. Noah Jackson went through there, and then they just put the clamps on Payton.
No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 6. The ball's still at the 20-yard line. The Eagles send in some new troops defensively.
And this is
down linemen, Greg Brown and Harvey Armstrong, have come in up front.
And this is where we talked about the Bears are having their problems. 20-yard line on in.
3rd down play. He's got an open man, McKinnon. McKinnon, touchdown. Dennis McKinnon. And Evans is on his knees in thanks at the 30-yard line, having connected with McKinnon, and McKinnon ran right through the tackler Ray Ellis at the 5-yard line. His first touchdown in the National Football League.
Dennis McKinnon, a man who wasn't even given a shot there at the beginning of the training camp. Mike Ditka figured he had a shot at it, and he kept him, and now starting to play him more and more as McKinnon came across the middle, beat the zone there, caught it in the middle, and just trotted into the end zone as number 22, Brenard Wilson, was claiming that he was screened off on the play. Bob Thomas in for the extra point.
20-yard touchdown pass from Evans to McKinnon. Thomas with the point after, and he has it. So the Chicago Bears, with help from the interference penalty, setting them up at midfield, march it from there, and Evans hits to McKinnon. They lead 7-0.
And you will see 85 McKinnon come from left to right across the bottom of your screen as Evans gets good protection. Here comes McKinnon all by himself. Just beat that zone right in the middle, turned it on into the end zone. The Chicago Bears have the lead. Score 7-0.
Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris back in Philadelphia. The Bears have gone 94 yards in 11 plays, helped out by the interference call. 6:26 they used up on the clock. That's what they want to do. And they have a 7-0 lead. Thomas will kick it off. 3 men are deep for the Eagles. A short kickoff, and it bounces to the 21-yard line, taken by an up man. It looked like number 94, Byron Darby, had to play that ball. Yes, he did. It was Darby, a defensive end, a rookie out of USC, got to carry the ball, and Thomas, who's been bothered with a back injury, obviously having trouble getting the ball deep.
And he wasn't going to catch that ball. He was lucky he got a bounce because that ball was high, and had it taken a funny bounce, the Bears would have had a chance for recovery as you look at a big game next week.
Michigan and Illinois, 12 o'clock Eastern time. 2 unbeaten teams in the Big Ten. Illinois beating Purdue yesterday in a game that was close, and then Illinois coming out with a victory, and of course Rose Bowl in the minds of those two teams. Pitch out to Michael Williams, who breaks a tackle, running hard, gets over the 30, and play whistle dead before the ball came loose. Mike Singletary had a shot at him. Otis Wilson was the man who finally was able to pin him down over the 30-yard line. A good piece of running by the rookie from Mississippi College in Clinton, Mississippi. The number 5 pick, and here he is running in Wilbert Montgomery's spot. Montgomery has played in only 2 games thus far this season because of a knee injury suffered in preseason. And of course, he has missed, one of the outstanding running backs in the NFL. Mike Quick and Harold Carmichael are the wide receivers. Second and a long 4. The give is to Hubie Oliver, spins away from one tackler, and then the Bears react very well defensively, led by Todd Bell, number 25, and Mike Richardson, the quarterback, number 27.
Dan Hampton had a hand on him, but Oliver just spun right out of that, as we can see that the Eagles are really trying to establish that running game. They're going to have to establish it before the Bears get too far ahead, because it looks like the Bears... there is the shot right there. As you can see, Oliver just kind of... Look at the water bouncing up there. You can see how wet it is.
Guy could drown out there today. They brought in Maraldi and Fritchie on the left side of the Eagles on this 3rd and short, the left side of their offensive line. Play action. I like this call, but there's nobody open. The intended receiver was Cab. Cab slipped as he ran into the coverage of Mike Richardson and never recovered. Otherwise, that might have been some kind of a play on 3rd and short. But Vito Cab, the tight end, number 84, the intended receiver, did not get downfield.
That's right. He slipped, made collision, slipped, tried to get up, and by the time Jaworski spotted him, he threw the ball way high. But it was a pretty good call, I think, overall. It was a good call.
4th down for the Philadelphia Eagles, the punter Skladany, as you see, and the deep man for the Bears, Dennis McKinnon, who has the game's only touchdown thus far. We have 2:53 remaining in the first period at Philadelphia. Skladany, an end over end, but it's going to get an Eagle bounce. It's fielded at the 24. McKinnon bounces through water and does a fairly good job of returning to the 33-yard line, where Bill Cowher, reserve linebacker number 57, made the tackle. A flag, however, is down upfield, so somebody from the Eagles may have been downfield early. Oh, the call is against the Chicago Bears from Dick Jorgensen, the referee, and it looked like a holding call at the line of scrimmage. That doesn't happen too often, but it does on occasion, and evidently happened here.
Well, that makes that poor punt look pretty good now, doesn't it?
A 43-yard punt by Skladany with a 9-yard return will turn into a much longer situation.
Holding, number 25, receiving team.
Todd
While
Bell.
the ball was in the air, close possession foul, first down.
Post-possession foul, as it occurred after the ball was in the air. Bell apparently grabbed one of the Eagles headed downfield. So the Bears will start from their 14 when we return, with Chicago leading 7-0. Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris. We are in Philadelphia's Veterans Stadium, where the Bears lead 7-0 on their second offensive possession. They march the length of the field. Evans to McKinnon from 20 yards out, following a 43-yard pass interference penalty that set them up at midfield.
Of course, the key to that drive was going for the first down on 4th down at the 34-yard line.
Yes, it was. They got it on a run by Evans and then went for the touchdown. Now they must start from deep following the penalty against Todd Bell. Moorhead and Solly are double tight ends, and they give to Payton running straight ahead. He gets about 4 yards, close to the 19-yard line. Elsewhere in the National Football League today, see the Washington Redskins have the Detroit Lions down 14-0, and of course Bears fans interested in that football game, as the Skins have jumped into a first quarter lead of 14-0. And Kansas City playing at Houston. The Oilers still looking for something good to happen to them. Lead Kansas City 7-0. Kipper Nielsen with a touchdown pass. 2nd and 5 for the Chicago Bears, as Payton, as usual, got more out of it than it appeared. He's going to get plenty out of this. First down yardage for Payton to the 28-yard line, where Reggie Wilkes and Randy Logan stop him out there on the corner. But again, some nifty dancing by Walter Payton.
Interesting play. The left tackle, Jimbo Covert, number 74, pulled from his side and ends up, because it was kind of a counter. Watch Payton. He'll go to the right just a little bit, then counter back, and you'll see number 74. He's the pulling tackle from the opposite side. He puts the block on Wilkes, who plays off of it and does get in on the tackle. But an interesting play, and you could see a little counter action. They must have watched the films from last week, because the Cowboys took the Eagles on some counter stuff last week.
Big 271-pound Jimbo Covert. He likes to run, and he likes to block for the run. First down, Evans, deep drop. Up the middle for Moorhead, double coverage, incomplete. And Moorhead, looking for an interference call, will not get one there. On the coverage, Randy Logan, who got a hand on the ball, and Renard Wilson, number 22. The safeties doing a good job on the tight end, and I guess they have memories of Cosby's work against them last week in Dallas, Johnny.
That's right, but Cosby beat the Eagles on shorter stuff, 12, 16-yard stuff where he hooked in and out. It's tough to throw down the middle to the tight end deep, because the way the Eagles play their defense, you'll see Logan or Wilson or somebody will be down there like a center fielder, like Paul Krause used to play for the Vikings. So that's one place that's tough to beat them.
2nd and 10. Let's see what the Bears do here. They lead 7-0. Time winding down first quarter. Ricky Watts in the lineup, now in motion behind the ball. They give us to Walter Payton, and he is stacked up. The linebacker, Jerry Robinson, with a neat bit of maneuvering, sidestepped the block and straightened up Mr. Payton.
And we got to give Harvey Armstrong some credit, too, because he made the initial hit, and he was stopped Payton, and then everybody else came in to clean up.
About a 1-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 9. Payton stopped for only a 1-yard gain, has 9 carries, 25 yards at this point. Greg Brown has come in defensively, number 98.
3 wide receivers
and
in now.
Armstrong. They've got a 4-man front, 3 wide receivers, and the Eagles have extra defensive backs in Ellis and Devon. He's passing down, and this is rolling out Evans, and he is under pressure. Gets away from it and gets the ball away, but it is incomplete, intended for Walter Payton. Payton was open, but slipped on the very wet turf at the 30-yard line, and it goes for an incomplete.
You talk about a quick rollout sprint pass, and then Evans is so nimble as he goes back the other way and got rid of the ball before being sacked. No first down, but he slipped, and everybody slips as Payton could not get. There was no way he was going to catch that ball. The Bears will be forced to punt.
Parsons standing at his own 14-yard line. Evans started out, Johnny. I thought he was just going to flat out run.
Oh, I think that's what he was trying to make the Eagles. He should have run, as it turned out.
Then he stopped and couldn't find a man open once the rush materialized. Good punt by Parsons. Comes down at the 40 and bounces out at the 37-yard line of the Philadelphia Eagles. So Bob Parsons does his job. The Eagles have fairly good field position with 5 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Eagles will have one play before we come to a close in the first period, with the Bears leading Philadelphia 7-0. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Philadelphia Eagles and the National Football League is prohibited. First down, Philadelphia. They are at their own 37-yard line. Ron Jaworski, the quarterback. On the wing left is Hubie Oliver, number 34. Lone setback is Michael Williams. Oliver in motion behind the ball. Quick flare out to Carmichael. Carmichael dropped the ball. It is incomplete. The Bears say, hey, he caught it, fumbled it, and we grabbed it. The official disagrees. Second down. That'll end this first period at Philadelphia. And so the Eagles will try it from the other end. 2nd and 10 when we return. On a drizzly day in Veterans Stadium, the Bears lead at 7-0. Johnny Morris back here in Philadelphia, where the teams have changed ends. The Bears lead at 7-0. In that first period, Johnny, the Eagles had the ball for only 4 minutes and 2 seconds, and they have rushed for only 23 yards. Both teams, both coaches said they planned to run the football today. The Eagles, I'm sure, still plan to do so. They haven't had time to do so thus far.
And they haven't had time to establish Mike Quick, their great rookie, either, their wide receiver.
2nd and 10 for Philadelphia. Off the incompleted first down pass at the conclusion of the first quarter. Jaworski has time and now runs out of it. Al Harris runs into him, and it is a loss of about 4 on the play. The Bears had excellent coverage downfield. Quick, Cab, and Carmichael were all downfield, but the Bears secondary had them well covered. A loss of about 5. It'll bring up 3rd and 15, and suddenly you can't think run anymore when you've passed on first down and are now 0 for 2 on the series. In come the Bears pass defenders.
Terry Schmidt is in there, number 44 now. He has been hurt for a couple of 3 weeks, and as you know, he's tied for the lead in the NFC with 5 interceptions.
Mike Quick, Carmichael, and Glenn Young, the rookie, now 3 wide receivers. The Eagles not going to their shotgun. Normally they would. Jaworski told us yesterday, too many problems with snaps. Up the middle, intended for the tight end, and it's broken up on the coverage by Walt Williams. It was intended, pardon me, for the running back, Michael Williams, number 32, sneaking out of the backfield, but Walt Williams had him well covered to break up the play. So it is 4th down. Interesting that the Eagles, with a few missed snaps against Dallas last week, abandoned the shotgun, and that has been something from which Jaworski has always been an effective quarterback. Sladany will punt. The deep man is Dennis McKinnon, waiting for it at the Bears' 30-yard line. Rain following steadily here in Philadelphia, and indeed it seems to have increased in intensity somewhat. Sladany, good punt. Good catch by McKinnon at the 25 over his shoulder. Got back to the 32-yard line, where a host of Eagles, led by Mark Slater, number 61, the reserve center, made the tackle there. 42-yard punt for Sladany and a 7-yard return. Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris, where the Chicago Bears will have first down at their own 31-yard line, following the 7-yard return by McKinnon of Sladany's punt. 7-0, Chicago leads it. We are in the second period. Rain continuing to fall. here in Philadelphia. Out to the slot left goes Willie Galt. Marjoram wide left. Suey and Payton in the eye. Payton has a good hole and picks up about 6 yards. Running behind Neal and Becker on the play. Now for an NFL Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York. Find a way. Without Tommy Kramer, Steve Dills has taken over. Archie Manning can't get off the bench. Vikings continue to win and trying to stretch their lead in the NFC Central. Greg Brown has come in defensively. 2nd and 5. The give is to Suey going against the grain. Turns it upfield now, close to the first down. Dropped over there by the linebacker Jerry Robinson, number 56, UCLA star. Quite an engaging young man, and talking to him the other day, it's obvious he really likes to play this game, and the busier he is, the better. It seemed the biggest thing he was worried about was his weight. He was afraid with all the action he's had that maybe he had lost too much weight to play inside.
He went on a weight training program during the offseason, picked up a little weight to be able to take that kind of punishment, and has found himself a home. Whether it be inside or outside, he's always going to be around.
3rd and a yard as Suey came up just a little short. Let's see what the Bears do here. Dunsmore in motion. They go to Walter Payton, and he dives over for the first down. When in doubt, give it to Walter. He'll find a way. Up, down, sideways, whatever's required. First down, Bears.
And you can look at the center of the line. Watch Dan Neal, Kurt Becker. They have to take on the nose guard, Clark, there, and he's jammed up, but he jams up the hole. However, Payton can dive so well that he got up and over and was able to make the first down. Walter Payton, who is steadily heading towards 11,000 yards for his career, currently 4th on the all-time list, but not too far behind Franco Harrison, O.J. Simpson, and, of course, Jimmy Brown.
32 yards today for Walter Payton on 11 carries. Play action. Evans on first down. Up the middle for the tight end, Moorhead, who reached back to make a good catch against tight coverage. A gain of about 9 on the play, and it was Jerry Robinson defending against the pass after making the tackle on the run.
Yes, 2 linebackers on the coverage as they do the play action. It worked pretty well. It seemed to freeze the Eagles for a moment, and you're going to see Moorhead come down, and you'll see Wilkes 51 waiting, but Moorhead will come right in front of him, and Robinson's behind on the drag, and the 2 linebackers can do nothing about it because Moorhead found the hole.
It'll be 2nd and a long yard. The ball is now at the 49 of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Bears once more into Philadelphia territory. The give is to Suey with Payton the lead back. You don't see that too often out of the eye for the Bears, and it looks like Suey has the first down, and he does.
Did you see Payton fly into that line?
Well, he said, I haven't done any blocking for a while. I kind of enjoy it. Give me a shot.
He's like a missile through there, whether he has the ball or he doesn't have the ball. And tremendous blocker, Walter Payton. That's what he has over guys like Jim Brown and some of these other great runners. They weren't the versatile type of football player that Walter Payton is.
Wasn't it Robinson who said yesterday, he said, is there anything he doesn't do? Whereupon you enlightened him to the fact that he had finished 1st or 2nd on a Soul Train dance contest. That is Matt Suey. Suey blast to the 40-yard line. A gain of about 6 yards for Suey, who's having himself a good afternoon, and the Bears are doing what they wanted to do, and that is to run the football. And of course the Eagles hoping to do the same, but you must have it to run it, and the time of possession has been all in favor of the Chicago Bears. Suey now has 34 yards on the ground.
You've got to give the offensive line some credit. The much maligned Bear offensive line are creating some holes in there. Kurt Becker with a good block that time as they are out muscling that defensive line of Philadelphia right now.
Cincinnati in front of Cleveland 7-0 on a touchdown run by Pete Johnson. 2nd and a long 4. Suey wide left. Suey down the sideline, still going, and slides on his knees out of bounds through the puddles to the 27-yard line. And Matt Suey, given an opportunity to run it outside, shows a turn of speed with a good block on the corner.
Well, Matt Suey should get some yardage with if he gets a chance to run the ball, because Payton is such a threat there. Eagles are so concerned about Walter and his versatility that anytime you get some action of Walter one way or the other, it's got to give some yards to the other back, and it happens to be Matt Suey. 9 rushes for 43 yards. That's almost 5 yards per carry.
First down, Chicago, threatening now in Eagles territory at the 28. Inside handoff, and it's shut down by the Eagles. Payton is nailed by Dennis Harrison, number 68, the left defensive end out of Vanderbilt. He made a good play.
Oh, he certainly did. Look at this. The Jets over Atlanta 7-0. That's a second quarter game. The Jets having their problems.
78-yard run by Bruce Harper.
That'll help the running average, won't it?
Yes, it will. So Bruce Harper always dangerous for the Jets, who have had their problems. 7-0. It is 2nd down and 9. As Harrison did the job on Payton. Slot formation right. Ricky Watts, number 80, in motion. The give to Payton. Payton has good blocking. Gets away from one tackler to the 20-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and about 3. Now for NFL Today report. Let's join Brendan. 3 and 4, certainly a disappointment to their fans. Perhaps an overrated team. I'm among those who think they're overrated. This is Payton on 3rd and about 2, trying to get wide, and good coverage on the end. Roynell Young, number 43, just bulldogged them out of bounds, would not give up the corner, and it looks like they have stopped them short. Yes, they have, by more than a yard, as the Eagles rise up at the 20-yard line and bring up 4th down.
So Bob Thomas now going for his 100th career field goal, which would set a Bear all-time record. I think it's 99 with Mac. He's tied with Mac Percival with 99 field goals. So Bob Thomas has a chance to make a little history for the Chicago Bears. Brian Bashnagel to hold it.
Ball is being spotted at the 28-yard line, a 38-yard attempt. Remember, Thomas has been bothered with a back injury, and the longer kicks give him trouble. Let's see how he does at this distance today. He has hooked it wide left. You can almost see, I'm certainly not an expert at field goal kicking technique, but you can almost see that Thomas doesn't look as smooth and as steady as he normally is. We'll return with the Bears leading 7-0. Well, next Saturday, CBS Sports of the NBA begins its coverage, and of course it'll be the debut of Ralph Sampson. Everybody waiting to see the outstanding rookie from Virginia, how he makes out in the pros. The Spurs against the Rockets, and of course Houston really hoping that he'll be the cornerstone of their franchise for a long time to come. 1st down for the Eagles. It is Michael Williams, and Williams running hard, gets over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Running behind Ron Baker and the center Guy Morris. A good job by the rookie Michael Williams, 6'2", 270-pounder out of Mississippi College.
Well, as we said, they're trying to reestablish that running game. It's very tough to do without Wilbert Montgomery, you know, who's out with that knee injury, and Williams is one of those keys if they're going to do it.
You know, the Eagles don't have a yard passing yet in this game. We're now 8:06 remaining in the 2nd quarter. That is Hubie Oliver, number 34, and he is dropped by Mike Singletary after a gain of only 1, and that brings up a 3rd down situation.
Steve McMichael, playing in place of Jim Osborne, got across the line of scrimmage and jammed up that play, which allowed Singletary. And we checked it out, how many helmets Singletary broke. We've had all kinds of conflicting reports. When he was at Baylor, he broke 28 helmets, and it cost a total cost of $8,000.
Were those his helmets, or were the other guys'
opponent's helmets, and probably a couple of his.
I would think
28's the official figure.
Eagles are 0 for 3. They had a mix-up on the field, and the crowd here at Veterans Stadium wet and perhaps getting a little bit annoyed at the way things are going for the Eagles. 7-0 Bears. 3rd down and 3 for the Eagles. The first semi-critical call of the game for them. They have done nothing offensively. There you see the rain collecting on the carpeted surface here at Veterans Stadium. They are 0 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. They had a mix-up on their call and called timeout to get it sorted out. One setback. Jaworski has yet to gain a yard passing. Short drop, and he is dropped by Dan Hampton. There is one time when that short drop for the quick pass can work against you. If you don't block everybody, a big guy like Hampton is just going to bust in there and nail that quarterback.
Well, the Bears had everybody up on the line, and Hampton, who's playing with a severely fractured finger, just got right through there. As he got by Kinney, just pushed Kinney aside and dumped Jaworski, who did try that precision short pass, and it wasn't open, and so the Eagles are in trouble.
Ladaney will punt. You saw Singletary had Jaworski by the ankles getting in on the tackle. This is McKinnon. McKinnon to the 46-yard line. So the Bears will start with good field position. when they have first down. Returning from this commercial message upcoming, 7:05 remaining in the first half of play on a rainy day in Philadelphia, where Chicago leads at 7-0. We can get it. Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris back in Philadelphia, where the Bears lead at 7-0. Some interesting stats on this rainy day at Veterans Stadium, as Mike Ditka probably would like to see his team being a little bit more productive offensively, but they're leading at this point, and they have shut out the Eagles. Indeed, Jaworski is 0 for 4, so they haven't gained a yard passing. They haven't had the ball enough to establish the running game that Marion Campbell wanted today. The Bears, on the other hand, have run the ball well, both Suey and Payton. It is first down. Good field position from the Bears 46. Play action, Evans. Now forced out by Wilkes. And he almost had it intercepted by the nose tackle, Ken Clark. He tried to come back to Matt Suey, who was just really helping him out, as the coverage downfield was good by the Eagles.
Evans is so quick. Once that pocket breaks down or he can't find somebody, he decides to go. He gets out there in a hurry, and this time he just made a little bit of mistake in judgment. There's almost the interception by Clark. Wouldn't that have been something? See old number 71 rumbling down the field. And who would have been chasing him? Vince Evans.
Vince Evans. You bet he would have been chasing him. All the way to the locker room.
Yeah.
It is 2nd and 10 from the 45-yard line of Chicago, and Ken Clark says, boy, I wish I'd practiced my pass receiving this week. Suey met at the line by Hairston, bounces off him, and then the linebackers wrap him up. Joel Williams, number 59, and the safety, Renard Wilson, number 22. A pickup for Suey of close to 5 yards, and he continues to have a fine afternoon, number 26 from Penn State. Maybe he's got some relatives here today.
He does. He has about 40 of them. Carl Hairston is the one he bounced off that time, and you know, Hairston's a pretty big man, and Suey ran into him head on, bounced off, and got an extra 5 yards. But anytime you're in the state of Pennsylvania and you're from Penn State, you're going to have some relatives around.
Suey is now 10 carries for 52 yards. McKinnon in motion behind the ball on 3rd down out of the shotgun. Evans forced out of the pocket.
Look at that.
Now gets some good blocks, and he'll take off. Evans slides in over the 30-yard line to the 28. And he has a first down deeper in Philadelphia territory. Again, the Eagles secondary, apparently, at least Evans is seeing that way, is providing solid coverage deep, and he can't find an open man. Well, he made up for it with a run.
That's right, and that's what the Eagles were worried about, Evans' ability to run, especially the way they play their defense. They drop everybody off. If he gets out of that pocket, there's nobody short to get him. They're in the field 15, 20 yards, those linebackers, and Evans is so adept at getting out of that pocket. So
Bears' offensive line really adjusted well. They turned it into a run. You could see them all knowing that he was going to take off, and there were several good blocks to spring him. First down inside the 30 of the Eagles. Play action again for Evans. Again, having trouble finding a receiver. Now Moorhead, and he dropped the ball. Evans delivering to Moorhead, who was open and staring the end zone in the face.
What happened was Roynell Young came across and swiped at the ball right as it was there, right in front of Moorhead's face. And that, I think, deflected, or at least took his eyes off the ball for a second there. We can't tell if he deflected it, but boy, it hit him right in the breadbasket.
And right after he released the ball, Evans paid the price. I believe it was Dennis Harrison who got a pretty good shot on him just as he let the ball go. It is 2nd and 10 inside the 30-yard line. Bears lead at 7-0. This is territory which has been foreign to them earlier in the season. They've had their problems scoring. Today they came up with the first try and a loose ball. Suey's coughed it up, and there you go. Trouble time. This time just outside the twilight zone at the 28-yard line. The Eagles have recovered the football. First turnover of the afternoon.
Let's watch number 56 as they pull the line from right to left, and you see the action going right, and here comes Suey. Now, he cuts back behind the block. Number 56, Jerry Robinson, pulls him down from behind, and there is the recovery. The key play was that Robinson got through the gap there and made the hit and stripped the ball.
Carl Hairston is the man, number 78, who is on the ground already, reaches out with a big paw on the left of your screen and pulls it in. So the Eagles stop the Bears and have the football. First down from their own 28. High formation. Jaworski play action. Complete to the tight end, Cab. Vito Cab, another Penn State star, gets out to the 44-yard line where Todd Bell pulls him down, and that is the first cheer today from the crowd here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia.
And Jaworski's first completion as he hit Vito Tab for a first down. They threw on first down. If you're going to throw against the Bears, your best chance is on first down. However, that's contrary to what Marion Campbell wants to do, establish the run. So which way do you work it?
16-yard pickup and a first down for the Eagles, all at their own 43-yard line. High formation again, pitch to Michael Williams, and he is hit by Otis Wilson. Wilson did a classic job of an outside linebacker. He sliced in, he turned the play upfield, and then he wound up making the tackle himself.
And he had to get it by Jerry Sizemore, a pretty big man, to do it. That was a super play by Otis Wilson, number 55 out of Louisville, who is getting better and better each year.
Loss of about a half yard on the play.
You know, you talk about the defensive pride of the Eagles from last week. Well, the Bears have some defensive pride to prove, too. They didn't do well last week, and they watched the game films, and only Mike Singletary graded out with any efficiency. All the rest of them admit that they had bad games.
Second and a long 10. Great drop deep by Jaworski. Swings it out to the running back Williams, and again there is Otis Wilson doing the job as he got him after a gain of only about 3. It'll be marched up to the 45-yard line and bring up third and long, third and about 8 for the Eagles.
I don't think they've done anything towards Mike Quick yet, have they?
No, they have not. Mind you, they didn't throw the ball at all in the first quarter, with 0 for 4, so they haven't been able to find him in a place to get the ball to him.
Well, he leads the conference with yardage, 750 yards, and it's just like Galt. You can't do anything, and even if it's not complete, you got to try and establish him to get some kind of equality in your attack.
3 extra defensive backs in on this obvious passing down for the Bears. Jaworski runs out of time as he was trying to get the ball downfield to Young. He was dropped by Mike Hartenstein with a sack.
I think they're ruling a fumble.
And they are. It is Chicago ball. Steve McMichael came up with the loose ball on the hit by Hartenstein. I think Jaworski thought play should have been whistled dead.
Well, Jerry Sizemore's blocking on Hartenstein. You'll see the action to the right upper part of your screen as Jaworski goes back, and Hartenstein's number 73 on 76 there. 73 gets inside of 76, puts the hit on Jaworski as he fumbles the ball going down, and there's a recovery. Chicago Bears have the ball.
No question it was a fumble, and there is Steve McMichael getting the start for Osborne coming up with it. Sack number 9 on the season for Mike Hartenstein. Bears have the lead in the ball. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris, where the Chicago Bears here in Philadelphia have recovered the fumble by Jaworski, the 3rd sack of the afternoon by the Bears defense, forcing the fumble by the Eagles quarterback. First down at the 40-yard line of Philadelphia. Walters Payton dances for about 3 yards before he's stopped by Jerry Robinson, the left inside linebacker, number 56.
Well, there's a score. Minnesota leading Green Bay now 10-3. In the second quarter, Jan Stenerud has kicked a field goal to get Green Bay on the board. Of course, the Vikings were 5-2 in the NFC Central Division going in.
Washington leading Detroit 14-3 now. A 37-yard field goal by Eddie Murray. Remember him from last week? 7-7. Cleveland and Cincinnati are tied in their game. Brian Sipe to Ozzie Newsome for the Browns. Pitch out. Payton on 2nd and 7. Payton digs through about 4 Eagles tacklers and picks up about maybe 5 yards. He's stopped ultimately by Anthony Griggs, number 58, and Randy Logan, number 41. It'll bring up 3rd and 2 for the Bears. Eddie Murray's shoulder was not bothering him enough today that he couldn't kick the field goal for the Lions, but I know everybody's anticipating the return match next week.
And look at that, 10,796 yards going in for Walter Payton, who is in his 9th year, has started 112 consecutive games.
Walter has 47 yards today, having a routine half for him, would you say?
Well, he's heading towards that 100 mark. He is so durable. He's got sore ribs, he's got a sore knee, but when game time comes around, even though he doesn't practice during the week, he's ready to play football.
He's got 2 minutes left in this period. We'll be right back. The preceding message was brought to you by the National Football League. Walter Payton showing even more of his talents and his concerns for others. 3rd down and 2. Payton with 47 yards. The Bears are 3 of 7 converting on 3rd down so far in the football game, but it's a 7-0 game. The Bears leading. So while the Eagles have not been productive at all offensively, obviously they're still very much in this football game. Payton trying for the 1st down, I believe, was stopped short. Right side of the Eagles defense doing the job, and you can see the linebackers getting up over there, Griggs and Robinson, but it looked like the man to put the initial heat on him was number 96, Harvey Armstrong.
And no field goal. The Bears are going to go for it. They have brought in Dunsmore and Salty, 2 of the tight ends, for some tough yardage right now. And
4th and 1. Calvin Thomas, I believe, has come in too. We'll check that. Number 33.
Yes, he has.
He'll line up with Walter Payton. 4th and 1, and that would just be too long for Thomas, who's having difficulty, as you said, with his back.
Here he goes.
Payton diving, and this time, and now look at that second effort. But will they whistle him dead on the first try? Oh, interesting situation here. Eagles may have stopped him either way, and they did. They gave him his second effort, the officials did, but the Eagles stopped the second try as well.
This was one time that flying high, he couldn't quite fly high enough. He takes the leap, goes up, but a whole bunch of Eagles were standing straight up also, and Payton could not quite make it. So the Eagles stopped the Bears twice in the situation down here, once on the fumble, and now they get the ball back, and somebody is down on the field. And even though the ironic thing is that the Bears have dominated this football game, it's still just a 7-0 score.
Dennis Harrison made the initial contact, actually pulling Payton down from out of the stratosphere from below. And that was the initial contact. Payton tried again, and the Eagles then stacked him up. And we're not sure who the injured Eagle is. We'll pass it on as soon as we can pick up a number. And you see the cheerleaders here today have to operate in mufti with some plastic covering. It's just a nasty day for everybody here in Philadelphia. The NFL Today coming up at halftime. Brent Nerve, of course, will have scores and highlights from some of the drier climates around the NFL today, and a special feature on the Rams' Family Robinson. The rookie coach out there has done an outstanding job thus far with the LA Rams.
You know, one thing that is happening with the Bears, Payton is so effective on his dives because he has such great ability, but the other teams are starting to pick up on it a little bit more. They're not used to be a sure success, but 2 or 3 times now over the past 3 or 4 games he's done that and been hit before he could really get up in the air. So it's not the sure thing that it used to be, and the Bears are going to have to devise a little bit of something else off of that.
You can see the injured Eagle player whom we're not able to identify is still down. I'm trying by a process of elimination to come up with it, and I think it may be Dennis Harrison, who made that initial contact. As we said, he actually reached up from a prone position, having taken a dive at Payton, and then reached up and plucked his ankles out of the air and made a fine defensive play. And of course, Payton with his second effort got a little bit farther, but the Eagles' determined front stopped the Bears short. Each team has turned it over once on fumbles. Suey for the Bears lost a fumble, and then Jaworski on the sack by Hartenstein lost a fumble. Here's that, look at that pileup. I mean, about everybody's involved.
I think that's Harrison at the bottom in the white, right? He comes down on the ground now, and then Payton comes down right here on top of his head. It looks like he just jammed his head into the turf. It's hard to say, but whatever it was, it sure didn't feel good.
And now they have him up on his feet.
He is on his feet. Good.
Glad to see that, and it may be that it was a head injury with that body weight coming down on him. He took quite a smack.
He might have had his bell rung. You know, he's probably thought he was down on the field for a half hour. I remember one time, only once did I have my bell rung. I was out for about 10 seconds, but I thought it was 20 years. And that's what he's thinking right now. He's wondering what happened, and they were talking to him, so apparently he had his head dinged a little bit.
Well, this has been a defensive struggle, as the cliche goes, and through most of this first half, you can see that the Bears have rolled up 159, if you can use that term. Philadelphia with only 44 yards, a continuing problem, even though they are 4-3. That record, the winning record to date, is because of their defensive effort. First down pass. Jaworski has him, but he runs out as Al Harris gets there. And again, a quick look downfield showed excellent tight coverage by the Bears secondary.
And persistence by Al Harris, number 90. He was on Stan Walters. And I want to tell you, there was a battle between Walters and Harris, number 90. And, oh, we're going to see the next play. We're still live action.
All right, 2nd and 15 with Jaworski on 2nd down, and it gets the ball away quickly, intended for Mike Quick, and it is incomplete. Down the sideline, make it Glenn Young, number 89, the intended receiver. The rookie number 4 pick from Mississippi State. The ball was just overthrown. Young was behind his man down the left sideline. 3rd down. 4 sacks for the Bears defense today, and they have been solid, obviously, having shut out the Eagles, but they have been playing very solidly in all aspects of their defensive game. The secondary on pass coverage, the pass rush has been good, the linebacking solid.
Come on now.
3rd down with Jaworski having to come up with another 3rd down conversion, which has been a problem for them here, and working from his own end again. Going deep for Young again, and it's overthrown. Young turned outside, then inside. Once more, he was behind Leslie Frazier, the cornerback, but the pass failed to click, and so the Eagles will have to punt, and that brings out the well-known Philadelphia Bluebirds.
The Bears had no linebackers, 4 linemen, and a whole bunch of defensive backs, and you can see just the angle that he goes to the corner. The quarterback and the receiver have got to be together on that as far as what kind of an angle, whether when he turns back towards the sidelines, is he going to go for the goal corner, or is he going to go for the sidelines? And he went for the sidelines, and Jaworski threw it more towards the corner.
Skladany standing at his 10-yard line. Dennis McKinnon waiting for it at the Bears' 38. Pretty good rush on Skladany. He got a pretty good kickoff from the 39. McKinnon has a good return going. Finally straightened up at the 45-yard line, but McKinnon with a good straight-ahead return gets back into the Eagles' territory, and they'll spot it at about the 44, where the Bears will have 1st down. Of course, the Bears next week will be at home against the Detroit Lions, and some bitterness from last week's finish will be in evidence at that game. And Dallas at the New York Giants will go to some parts of the viewing audience who are watching this afternoon's game. And the doubleheader action will feature the NFL today and then the LA Rams at Miami. That should be a dandy. Check your local listings for the games and times in your area, but that's our doubleheader lineup for next week. 1st down here at the just inside the 45-yard line of Philadelphia with a good return by McKinnon. Shotgun, Evans. Marjoram wide open at the 40-yard line, but a good diving tackle by Jerry Robinson, who has been a defensive force for the Eagles in this first half. A gain of only 4 yards. 2nd and 6. Bears stay in the 2-minute drill with 12 seconds and counting coming down to the end of this first half. Give it to Payton.
If they didn't get out of bounds, they're going to have to use one of their timeouts.
And they do. Tackle on the corner by Roynell Young, and Robinson was there again. He's been about everywhere. There has been defensive action today.
And they're bringing Bob Thomas in. Well, it's a little long for Bob Thomas.
Well, especially since they didn't go for the field goal in that last situation. They had him out of fair ways. Evidently, I guess Ditka just wanted to go with the 4th and 1, go for the 1st down, and was not considering the field goal kicking.
Well, the Eagles are going to be a little leery about this one. They would probably just stay back and let Thomas kick the ball, because the ball is at the 37. Well,
looks like he's 52. Spotting it about the 45-yard line, which is going to make it a 55-yarder. So
he has done that before.
Yes,
though.
He has
done it, but he has that bad back.
He's got a 63-yarder as a long field goal, I believe, this season.
Well, the key play there was running the ball with Payton. He couldn't get out of bounds, rather than they probably could have gotten 2 passes in the time of that run, but that's second guessing.
He's got a 63-yarder in the book already.
63 yards?
Yeah.
No, not Thomas.
Well, I'm quite sure that's right, but I'm going to double check that, Johnny, to make sure that that's the way it looks on my stat sheet here. Meanwhile, this one is 55. Let's see what he can do from here.
That's the NFL record, I believe, 63.
Yeah, no, that was a miss. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the underlined column here as we get back to this
trivia
action.
question. Who holds the NFL record for longest field goal?
Don't do that. The fans have to write those in you. 55-yard attempt and some delay going on in the field here. I'm not sure whether Noah Jackson's back talking to Bashnagel and looking toward the bench. We've got 2 seconds with this clock frozen at the moment, and now the Eagles discussing things with the officials. Now we're finally ready to go. 55-yard attempt by Bob Thomas. He has missed one earlier. And that will be well short. So Thomas 0 for 2 in the field goal kicking department, and the good defensive efforts by both teams on a rainy afternoon in Philadelphia have the low-scoring tilt that we have going here at halftime, with the Chicago Bears. A touchdown by Dennis McKinnon, the only points. The Bears lead it 7-0. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back in Philadelphia. They're mopping up the carpet here as we await the start of the second half, and there's been a lot of water coming down and testing the absorbency of the artificial turf. And in that first half, as the score would indicate, not a lot of offense, but even less than you might imagine. 2 first downs for the Eagles, 28 yards rushing, and minus 4 yards passing, and for a total of 24. And those Bears numbers are certainly not impressive either. It's just that there's such a wide differential between the two that they've got the lead, but that clock is the real story.
And they've had the ball 21 minutes and 16 seconds to just under 9 for Philadelphia, and that's the story of the ball game.
Same as last week for the Eagles. They only had the ball for 16 minutes against Dallas, so they're right on the same schedule here.
And the Bears are 3 for 8 in passing. Evans hasn't thrown the ball very much, but he had the one big pass completion to Dennis McKinnon, who was in the slot, came over the middle, and was wide open underneath the coverage as everybody cleared out, and there was McKinnon. And then he did a little stuff on his own, got himself into the end zone, and that's been the difference in this ball game. It's only 7-0. The Bears have dominated much more than the 7-0 score.
Well, we had 2 missed field goals in the other offensive tries for the Chicago Bears. Bob Thomas still bothered with a bad back, missed one from 39, another one from 55. We did determine who kicked the 63-yarder. The fans all called in and wrote in, and Johnny Morris is sending you a prize. 2 weeks in Philadelphia is your prize.
On a rainy day. It was Dempsey.
Tom Dempsey used to play for the Eagles. And you know that Tony Franklin is the only man, the Eagles field goal kicker today, the only man to kick field goals of over 60 yards twice in one game. In his college career for Texas A&M against Baylor, he kicked a 64-yarder and a 65-yarder. Meanwhile, Bob Thomas, who has done all the kicking today, of course, the last couple of weeks, Steve McMichael was kicking off for Thomas, but he's been doing it all today, and he's ready to go now. Glenn Young and Ray Ellis are the deep men for the Eagles, along with Major Everett, another rookie out of Mississippi College, along with his teammate there, and now here Michael Williams. Everett, a free agent, and Woodstead, number 5. And they've done a pretty good job of soaking up the carpet, but the rain just has not let up. Taken at the 12-yard line by Ellis, and Ellis brings it back this side, gets to the middle of the field, and Dennis Gentry got a hand on him to upset him, and then got some immediate help by Anthony Hutchison, or from Anthony Hutchison, number 32. So they stop him at the 25-yard line, a 7-yard return, and the Eagles have got to get something going, to put it bluntly. 2 first downs in the first half, minus 4 passing, 28 yards rushing. That does not get it done in the NFL. There's Ron Jaworski, who said, like all quarterbacks do, boy, they give you a lot of looks and a lot of fronts, but sometimes they hurt themselves, and we hope that we can hurt them. But he has not been able to get the ball downfield.
Well, he said that they may stop us for a while. Eventually, we'll bust them on one of those defenses. So he's figuring that they're going to hit a bomber sooner or later, but it better be sooner for the Eagles because they have not done anything yet and haven't even thrown to Mike Quick, have they?
No,
Still.
they've not.
Or Carmichael.
Quick comes out to the left. They threw one at Carmichael. That's the one.
Oh, that's right. A little hitch pass.
Called an incomplete. That was it. Now they go to Quick. It's tipped and off his hands. It was tipped by Al Harris, I believe. Got a hand on it. Dan Hampton may have been hurt on the play on his pass rush. He's down on the field at the 20-yard line. And it was either Hampton or Harris, I believe Harris, who tipped the ball, and Mike Quick could not adjust to that deflection and was unable to make the catch.
It is Dan Hampton. He is injured, and we'll maybe get a look at the replay afterwards and find out. But anyway, the score remains the same. Bears 7, Eagles nothing. Okay, let's take a look at the replay. Hampton is the second man from the right. You see 53 Raines. Hampton is next to him on Steve Kenny. Now Hampton, 99, tries to go to the outside, then cuts back, and then Kenny gives him a little hip block, and he hits his knee and goes down. He has been taken off the field. We still don't know the nature of the injury yet.
Steve McMichael moves into his slot, and Jim Osborne returns to his customary spot at left defensive tackle. 2nd and 10, Eagles. Jaworski swings it out to Michael Williams. He's got some real estate. Williams for a first down, only the 3rd of the game for Philadelphia, gets out to the 36-yard line. Singletary and Bell forced him out of bounds after an 11-yard gain. The Eagles on first down coming into that play had a total of 6 yards on the afternoon, so they are a little better off here early in the second half. 14:36 to play. We're in the open minute of the second half. Rainy skies in Philadelphia. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris. Behind the ball, in motion, Oliver. That gave us to Michael Williams, and Williams is met just over the line by Al Harris and Todd Bell, the safety forcing the running play. Got maybe 2 yards. 2nd and 8 coming up for the Eagles, just inside their own 40-yard line. The Bears certainly have been very, very steady defensively in the first half of play here today, and coming off not a day that they were happy about last week against Detroit.
They're playing much better, and I don't think the Eagles are ever going to establish the run. I just don't think they have the capabilities of doing it. They need Wilbert Montgomery. They don't have him.
They don't have John Spagnola, a good blocking tight end. He's also out with injuries. Quick and Carmichael, the wide receivers. Jaworski, and that's complete to the tight end, Vito Cav. Cav gets all the way to the 35-yard line. And Cav got isolated on Todd Bell, I believe. Frazier forced him out of bounds, and that's the only pass that worked in the first half. They had a 14-yard gain on the same play to Cav, this time for 24.
And he comes down and across the middle, and Todd Bell goes for the interception on the play. You can see 25 covering 84 from left to right. He goes for the interception, put the hand out there, and it was a completion, and it hasn't happened too often with the Eagles. Only 8 completions to the tight end going into this game all season.
Vito Cav, the second-year man, number 3 pick a year ago from Penn State, playing for the injured John Spagnola. First down, Eagles. Quick hitch pass and incomplete. Mike Quick did not appear to be expecting that pass there. Up on the coverage came the cornerback, Mike Richardson, and Quick seemed to be playing Richardson and not the ball.
It had to be an audible because Quick had no idea the ball was going to him. He called a quick check-off audible, I'm sure. And he was just going down there to block on a run play, and he had apparently missed the audible called by Jaworski at the line of scrimmage, and that'll happen sometimes when you have a rookie wide receiver who's out there way wide. Sometimes you don't hear everything and you don't figure it out. You're in trouble. So a mix-up.
2nd and 10. Slot formation left. Michael Williams in the slot left. Jaworski has some time. Now starts to run of it, gets it to Oliver. Oliver breaks one tackle and gets to the 25-yard line. McMichael nailed Jaworski just as he released the ball. And Harris forced Oliver out of bounds. But the Eagles on the move here now. Let's see if they have a first down. They do. Good second effort by Oliver has them at the 25 of the Bears. Remember, this is only a 7-0 ball game. Doesn't matter how badly the Eagles offense played in the first half.
You got to credit that one to Jaworski. He hung his ground, kept looking for the receiver, and threw it at the last second, and then Oliver was able to break the tackle by Jeff Fisher.
First and 10, Eagles threatening for the first time in the game at the 25 of the Chicago Bears. Michael Williams. Big hole for Williams, blasting inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Jeff Fisher, the last man, stopped him there. So the rookie from Mississippi College finally gets a little running room and rambles for 17 yards.
Amazing what a couple of pass completions will do for the running game. Look at Guy Morris, the block right down, just pushed Osborne out of the way there, and Williams got through the hole, and it was up to the safeties to make the tackle. Jeff Fisher and Mike Richardson on the tackle. Eagles on the move.
Inside the 10 with a first and goal. Williams the lone setback. They give him the ball. Off tackle right, Osborne caught him right at the line of scrimmage and hung on, and then got some support from behind from Otis Wilson, the linebacker, number 55. So now it is second and goal, and let's see if there was any gain at all on that play. No more than a half a yard. They're still spotting the ball. Second and goal, and the Eagles have been down in this territory throughout this first half of the season and have not been terribly successful in there. It has been a difficult twilight zone for them.
That's what you call it, the twilight zone. Where'd you get that one, Tim?
Well, producer Mike Burks watches that Rod Serling television show. He doesn't remember one of it used to be on the first time around. I do. Jaworski to Williams. Williams gets to about the 6-yard line, and he's tripped up by Singletary and Richardson, and he picked up about 3 yards. They're going to put the ball down at about the, well, exactly on the 6-yard line. Third and goal from the 6.
Well, let's see how they call this one. Big play, because they'll have to settle for the field goal if they don't get it. Remember, Jaworski's not what you call a mobile quarterback. They don't roll him out much. He's going to be sitting back there for them to come after him, and let's see what they go. Let's see how the tight end comes into play.
The Eagles are 0 for 6 on third downs in the game. If they can convert it here, they'll likely be in the end zone. There's the pass, and it is broken up. Intended for Williams. Otis Wilson, perfectly timed dive, knocked the ball away, and it is 4th down for the Eagles.
He saved a touchdown. A great diving bat away by Otis Wilson, number 55. He saved the touchdown because Williams had nowhere to go but into the end zone. Watch 55. He's to the left of your screen. He's going to head back out into that zone. He did do a partial rollout, and Williams got out there, and if he had not batted this ball down, it's a touchdown, fans. Right there. Batted the ball away, and so the Eagles will have to settle for the field goal. Barefoot in the water on the turf.
Tony Franklin, doesn't seem to matter to him what the conditions are. He's going to take that shoe and sock off anyway. He pasted it. He really pasted that ball with some vengeance. And so the Eagles finally on the scoreboard with 11:15 to go. In the third quarter, the Bears lead it 7-3. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris, where the Philadelphia Eagles have finally gotten on the scoreboard. You can see Dan Hampton in the center of your screen there, just under those pretty legs of the cheerleader. And he has a sprained knee. They don't know if he'll return. He's testing it there, as you can see. And there's a hard luck guy. He's played the entire season without missing a game with a badly broken finger, and which has been a severe handicap for him in the tactics of a defensive tackle. And now he suffered a sprained knee. Short kickoff is taken by Anthony Hutchison, and Hutchison gets out to the 25-yard line, where he is buried by several Eagles, and so the Bears will start offensively, lead 7-3 after an 11-yard return by Hutchison from their own 25-yard line. Next Saturday, the NCAA Today has a big one from the Big Ten. The Wolverines of Michigan, the Illini of Illinois, and what an afternoon. They're both unbeaten in their conference. They're 6-1 on the seasons, and this should be really some kind of football game.
That game's at Champaign. Watch out, Wolverines.
First and 10. Out to Marjoram, and he dropped the ball. Evans to Marjoram. Roynell Young on the coverage gave him a little pop, but Kenny Marjoram unable to hold the ball in this wet weather at the 30-yard line. He had 6 catches last week.
Yes, he did. It's one of those wet days, and that had to be a hand catch because it was a high pass. He wasn't able to help himself with the body as Evans put it out there, and the ball just slipped right on through. Kenny Marjoram, who had a touchdown pass last week, and says, I want to catch that ball. Well, you're going to have to catch it.
Rain is now heavier. It has not let up all day. 2nd and 10. Pitch out Payton. Payton trying to get out the right side. Interesting formation there. They had the tight end, Jay Saldi, flanked way out to the right, and they were bringing Payton to that side, so they were going to put a big guy out there to block on the corner, but the play did not develop as planned.
You notice how Walter reaches out and sets that ball down so quickly after a play. It almost looked like a fumble. Got to hang on to that ball a little bit longer.
Picked up 2 to bring up a 3rd down and 8. Now again, you look for those little critical moments in a football game. They lead now by only 7-3. It's early in the 2nd half. The weather is bad for everybody. They want to keep the football, so this becomes their first big 3rd down out of the shotgun. Complete to Payton. Payton has a 1st down. A flag is down downfield. So we'll wait and see whether somebody pushed off or whether it's a defensive penalty. But Payton, meanwhile, picked up the 1st down yardage on the pass from Evans.
Perfect pass from Evans. Payton was covered like a blanket by Griggs, but the ball was right there, right on the dime.
It is Eagles defensive holding, Johnny, so the 1st down at least will stand. Was a perfect pass, leading Payton just perfectly.
Number 56, defense, decline.
Jerry Robinson was the culprit on that play, but the Bears have declined the penalty. We'll take the 1st down, and that's a key one, a 3rd down situation. And the Eagles were weak last week against Dallas. They allowed Dallas to convert on 3rd down 11 out of 16 times.
1st down. Suey, the lead back in the I formation. Galt right, Marjoram left. They haven't gone to Galt as yet. Payton gets to the 40-yard line. And Johnny, just looking back at the 1st half after that 5-yard pickup, if you were assessing the overall picture of the Chicago Bears today, allowing for the weather conditions, etc., and a tough Eagles defense despite their bad week last Sunday, the one thing that they have done that Coach Mike Ditka wanted them to do was to not only establish the run, but use it effectively. You had both Payton and Suey over 50 yards rushing in the 1st half.
That's right. Equality of the yardage between the backs is what you strive for. The Bears haven't had that for many years.
2nd and 5. This is Payton again. Picked up about 3. Met by Robinson and Reggie Wilkes, the linebackers. 3-4 defense of the Eagles. They have stayed with this throughout the game thus far, going to the 4-man fronts in obvious passing downs. Darby has been playing in this series for Dennis Harrison. Remember, Harrison was hurt late in the 1st half, and he has not returned. The rookie Byron Darby is playing at the left end. Well, when you're not on the field, it's probably wetter than it is out there. Things are dripping right off the face guards. Heavy rain. Moorhead and Dunsmore double tight ends. The pitch to Payton. And excellent defensive work by the Eagles on that one as they strung him out and not let him make the turn at the corner. Hairston, Joel Williams, 78 and 59, forcing Payton out of bounds.
It looked like he was just a tad short of the 1st down, so the Bears are going to have a decision to make there. It's just a quick pitch depending on Payton. Noah Jackson pulls out, gets his block, and you can see Emory Moorhead trying to string his man out, and he did string him out to let Payton get around the corner. Then a little dipsy-do there, and it looked like he was a little bit short.
He saw that marker, but the field is so slick and wet now that he just couldn't get any leverage as he tried to vault himself forward by pushing off on his left leg, and it's just too slick today for him to be able to get away with that.
And apparently the Bears are going to go for it.
It is just short. It'll bring up 4th down. Payton is at the 60-yard mark in rushing. And this is an interesting situation
Sure
here.
is.
7-3. Mike Ditka has shown he is a gambler. He's calling these plays. He's shown it all through the season that he's willing to take chances. And he's taking one here. It is 4th and about a football.
I think they make quarterback sneak it. No.
Suey. Suey has the 1st down. The Eagles did a good job, actually, defensively, but not good enough. He didn't need very much. You saw Hairston, number 78, slice in and get him from behind, and they piled him up from in front, but the Bears' offensive line just pushed him back enough to get Suey through.
Interesting play. That was a reverse pivot by the quarterback with Payton going the other way and an inside handoff to Suey.
The nose man Clark. Well, you can see here that this is not what you call a crowd at Veterans Stadium. The weather really keeping a lot of people at home. It was not a sellout in advance, so the game is not on television locally. But the weather just too miserable. The first really bad day for football in this part of the country, and a lot of the fans decided they'd stay at home. And the rain certainly making it a problem for the passing game and also for the runners in some parts of the field. First down pass by Evans, and a good rush on him. He unloads the ball in the general direction of Moorhead. It'll be an incomplete. Good pass rush. The nose man Clark and the linebacker Reggie Wilkes. 2nd and 10.
Evans did a good job of avoiding the sack on that one. He used a little straight arm. He must have learned that from Walter at practice. He kept him away from him, threw the ball, and avoided a 10-yard loss. So Evans has shown a real propensity to be able to avoid the sack, even with he gets out of it and can waste a pass or get some yardage. So Vince Evans doing another credible job.
2nd and 10. Bears leading 7-3. 8:05 to go, 3rd quarter. Straight drop. He's got a man open. Complete. Willie Gault. His first catch of the day, and a first down to the 37-yard line. Some of the Eagles saying they were wondering whether he could catch it in traffic, and they were going to find out. Well, straight down the field like he's going to run the go pattern. He went about 20 yards and then stopped, and with this slippery turf, the defensive back has to stay off a ways. At least it's he knows that he can get himself in trouble, and it is Herman Edwards who made tackle. But Willie Gault, key first down. Number 46, Herman Edwards, a free agent back in 1977. Every year you hear that Edwards and Logan are probably through, and every year they come back and start for the Eagles. Payton spinning and bouncing like a pinball in a pinball machine, gets to the 36-yard line. A pickup of about 5 yards. Greenard Wilson and Jerry Robinson on the tackle. Miami in front of Baltimore 14-0. The Dolphins getting their act together, and the Colts, who struggled last week after getting off to a surprising start. They lost at Buffalo. Cleveland, Cincinnati, they're now tied at 14. 1-yard run by Turk Schonert early in the 3rd period. Kansas City in front of Houston. The Oilers hanging in there 10-7. 2nd and 5 for the Chicago Bears. Suey as a hole is met by Reggie Wilkes with a standard straight ahead, get that shoulder into him tackle, stopping him short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd and about a yard. Reggie Wilkes, 6-year man from Georgia Tech, another of the first draft choices with the Eagles. He was picked in 1978.
Well,
less than a yard. Sorry, John.
This has been a methodical game, hasn't it?
It has been. But, you know, again, while it hasn't been the most entertaining football game, certainly for Chicago Bears fans who are looking in today, they have to be pleased and impressed with the Bears' running attack. The offensive line firing off against a good Eagles defense, and the balanced running of Payton and Seward. Evans trying to sneak for the first down. I don't believe he made it. The Eagles rising up in the middle. Looked like they were expecting Evans to sneak.
And so now they're going to have another 4th down situation with about a yard to go. An Iron Mike over there to make his decision. With Thomas in the condition that he is, this would be a fairly long field goal. I have an idea he'll go for it again. Waiting for the decision from the sideline is Vince Evans.
Also an officials huddle going on here, and we didn't see a flag. I'm not sure what that's about. Dick Jorgensen, the referee, and they're not thinking about calling the game on account of rain, are they?
No, it is raining harder, though, I'll tell you. They're going to go for a measurement.
Well, evidently it's the officials' call here. I didn't see the team's captains on the field requesting a measurement. It took a long time to decide. And it is short by about 2 feet, we'll say.
Well, the Bears are going to go for it. Dunsmore comes in with the play. And I'd have to go along with that because of the fact that Thomas has not been all that effective, and it would be about a 43, 44-yard field goal. And when you have a defense that's been stopping. Another delay as the Eagle players are asking for the fans to give them a little encouragement.
Well, again, the officials are huddling here. I don't understand this. I mean, they've had 2 long huddles. You're either going to measure or you're not on the previous play, and whether they had not marked the ball properly on the original markage, I'm at a loss to explain it. But we've had 2 huddles here on the same, dealing with the same play. The Eagles coaching staff not happy with these developments. Now they've got their own problems sending in their defensive substitutes.
Well, they did it at the last second on purpose, I believe.
Pitch out. Peyton, he's got the yardage. Flags everywhere. Peyton is forced out trying to dive for the end zone. They're going to mark it outside the goal line. There were 2 flags right when Peyton made the turn, and one always thinks maybe there was a clip.
A clip or a holding penalty, because everybody just caved in on the left side of the Eagles defensive line. Either it was fantastic blocking or somebody did something that was not legal, and it's against the Bears. So the run will be nullified.
Well, the play, apart from the illegality involved in the technique, was a terrific call for the Chicago Bears.
Number 81.
Jay Saldi is called for holding.
But if Jay Saldi hadn't held, it wouldn't have looked like such a good play. So
Bob Parsons has come in. This is where he's usually the most effective, kicking from about the 50 or 45, because he gets him inside that 20. He has not had the punting year that he has had in past years, but he still is effective at this distance, this range, this area of the field.
His 3rd punt of the day. He's averaged 37.5 on the first 2. Standing right at midfield. Glenn Young is the deep man at the 5-yard line. Parsons calmly angling, and the ball comes down, and Ricky Watts is there to make sure it stays inside the 5. Ricky Watts, an outstanding job. He got down to the goal line and turned back and played punt returner, and they will spot it at the 4-yard line of the Philadelphia Eagles, whose problems have been enormous all day long. Now they got to dig themselves out from inside the 5. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back here on this rainy afternoon in Philadelphia, and instead of letting up as we had thought it might, because the rain was fairly light at kickoff time, it has gotten heavier and is just coming down in sheets at the moment here as we are now with 5:24 remaining, 3rd quarter, and the Eagles starting from their 4-yard line following Parsons' perfect punt. Oliver, digging straight ahead, did a pretty good job getting it out near the 9-yard line.
Dan Hampton, I believe, is back in the football game.
Yes,
number 99 with that sore knee, the sore hand, and everything else. He's back.
QB Oliver got good blocks from Baker, Sizemore, and Morris, and got them some breathing room. A 6-yard pickup, 2nd and 4 for the Eagles. Perry Harrington is into the game for the first time offensively at running back. Oliver trying the left side, runs into Big Al Harris, but he's close to the 1st down. They call Oliver Rockman, and you get a look at his body, you'll see why. 5'10", 212-pounder. Well, let's take a look at the score from the Miami-Baltimore game. You can see Danny Marino having himself a afternoon. He's already passed for 1 touchdown. 2 make it. 2 touchdowns. It's 21-0. And next week here on CBS, you'll see the rookie for Miami against the Los Angeles Rams at the Orange Bowl, our doubleheader game on the NFL Today next week on CBS Sports. 1st down. Good effort by Oliver on consecutive runs. Great drop off. Mike Quick, complete over the 30-yard line. Out to the 35 for Mike Quick. Jeff Fisher made the tackle, and Jaworski delivers to the young man from North Carolina State.
Well, the best time to pass against anybody's on first down. This time Jaworski off the play action has plenty of time to pass. Quick down and across the middle. It hits him on the go. And that's a big play because the Eagles are out from under their own goal post. Mike Quick with his first reception of the game.
First down, Eagles. They trail 7-3. They're at their own 35-yard line. Wingback formation. Oliver set on the wing left. They swing it out, intended for Perry Harrington, incomplete. 2nd and 10. A word from the New York City Marathon. Those of you following the marathon, we've got the result in the men's division. Rod Dixon was the winner today, running under cloudy gray skies in New York City through the 5 boroughs. And of course, Alberto Salazar did not compete this year.
You notice that Jaworski has his hands folded all the time when he's not in the huddle and everything, to keep him dry and keep them from getting cold, his fingers.
He is 7 of 17 for 87 yards now. 2nd and 10, Eagles. Up the middle for the tight end, Cab. That's 3 for 3 on that play. Todd Bell again on the single coverage. And Vito Cab, who doesn't have a whole lot of speed, shows that he can catch the ball. A 23-year-old from Penn State. Pickup of 7 yards, bringing up 3rd and 3.
You're right. They're having Todd Bell one-on-one coverage. He's number 25, and here comes Tab across with the same pattern he's completed a couple of times. And there goes Bell, 25 on the coverage. He makes a super catch under pressure, and the Eagles are on the go here.
Whoa! Pitch to Perry Harrington, a loose ball. Diving in to upset that play at the outset was Otis Wilson, who nearly arrived when the pitch out did. Harrington never had full control, it did not appear to me, but he scrambled forward with the ball, and it looks like the Eagles have maintained possession.
But they are short of the first down. They have about a yard to go, and Marion Campbell's going to waste no time. He says punt that ball.
2:30 remaining in the 3rd period. The Eagles trail by 4. You can see that rain. Miserable for the players on the sideline. Jeff Fisher has now gone back to be the punt returner. Standing at the 20-yard line for the Bears. Tom Scladani in to punt at his own 30. So on 4th and less than a yard, Eagles deciding the safe play is the better play. Fisher shakes off one tackler, then is buried inside the 30 by Bill Cowher, the linebacker, number 57.
Well, he better worry about drowning there. He's right in that puddle. He's better let him come up for air.
The Bears will dig themselves out when we return, leading 7-3. When it rains, it pours, and we don't mean what's falling from the sky. The Bears, who already have Gary Fensickert, have now lost his replacement, Jeff Fisher, who came in to return the punt, and as you can see is being assisted off the field. And that could be a very difficult injury situation for Chicago. Let's see the play.
Ooh, got his knee and his foot caught underneath him.
Yep, on the hit by Cowher, you could see that his right foot got caught, and he was turned over on it with his own weight and Cowher's weight on it. So that does not bode well for Jeff Fisher. Now let's see whether Buddy Ryan, the Bears defensive boss, elects to put in Dave Duerson, a rookie from Notre Dame, who gained some infamy last week for running into Eddie Murray, the Detroit kicker, under the orders of Coach Mike Ditka. Or whether we'll see in there when the Bears are back on defense, Terry Schmidt, the nickelback. First down offensively. And Evans can't find an open man. He's scrambling, and he is dropped. And it is Joel Williams, number 59, who caught up with him and made the tackle. Well, now for an NFL Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Tim, it may be too late because Washington has dominated this game, but Billy Sims of Detroit, who's just back from the injury list as of last Sunday when he scored, got his 2nd touchdown in 2 weeks. It's now 28-10. Let's go back to Tim and Johnny.
All right. Well, of course, those who follow the Central Division and are fans of the Chicago Bears are not unhappy with the fact that Washington's doing a tattoo on the Lions, who had won 2 in a row. 2nd and 2 to go. Evans on the scramble, caught by Joel Williams. Gets it off to a second and 12, but he gets it off to Payton, and good defensive coverage by the Eagles. And it was number 43, Roynell Young, who would not let Payton turn it upfield. And there you see an unhappy Mike Ditka.
We're going to take a look at ground level. It's going to come right into your living room as Payton goes out on the swing pass. Notice he goes deep on his pattern. Sometimes it's hard to get your body turned around. Evans hits him. Now notice the shot that he will give Roynell Young, number 43, as he goes out of bounds. No place to go for Payton. He knows he's in trouble. Now 43 will come, and here will come Payton, giving him a shot and knock him right back. You're going to take punishment when you tackle Walter Payton.
So it is yet another loss. Evans having been dropped for a 2-yard loss. It is 3rd and 15 now. McKinnon, Marjoram, Galt, 3 wide receivers in the range. Out of the shotgun. Evans has time, can't find an open man, and takes off. And he is upset short of the first down. And it was Brenard Wilson who made the tackle on him in the open field. And it'll bring up a punting situation for the Bears.
Evans was going for Dennis McKinnon, 85, who goes down and caught that touchdown pass. The same play. Evans looks for him over the middle, can't find him, and then takes off. And Wilson does a good job here, one-on-one tackle. And Evans is no slouch as a runner. He carries the ball loosely. If he had gotten by this tackle, they would have had the first down. Nice play by Wilson.
Parson standing in a puddle to punt at the 22-yard line of Chicago. Back to receive is Young. Off the side of his foot again. It gets a bare bounce, however, and goes inside the 20. And will be down there by Ricky Watts. So the Eagles will start from inside their 20 again. And perhaps a forced smile by the Eagles cheerleader. Without our camera, they trail by 4. The bad news is it's raining here in Philadelphia. The good news is we're not sitting in it.
We just barely.
We are back just far enough here, as we have seen a low-scoring contest thus far, 7-3, and the weather's been a factor, but I think 2 teams are determined to try the run, and 2 solid defenses have really produced it more than anything else. And the Eagles now have a first down at their own 19-yard line with 25 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris into this game under the wet skies in Philadelphia. Deep downfield for Quick, and it is almost intercepted by Richardson, number 27. Quick had a step on him, but Richardson almost wound up with the football.
Here it is, almost a reception, then almost an interception. As you can see, all the water around there. The pass was up and over. Quick had it, and then Richardson had it, but did not gain control before he went out of bounds. So they threw on first down. That was what little success they've had, has been throwing on first down.
Quick came into this game with 33 catches. He's had only 1 so far today. Second and 10. In motion goes Williams. Rolling slightly, Jaworski forced back the other way. Buys some time. Wobbly pass for Carmichael, who caught the ball. Close to the first down marker. He's inbounds. Leslie Frazier on the coverage. And a good effort by big 6'8" Harold Carmichael, 34 years of age in his 13th year.
I didn't think that ball was ever going to get there. You ever saw a wounded duck? It looked like an eagle got caught in this storm. But Carmichael made the grab. It was all the way across the field and catches the ball, knocked out by Leslie Frazier. But it's a little short of a first down. It'll be 3rd and inches.
Tyrone Keys has come in defensively for the Bears, number 98 on the left end. Osborne is in the lineup. And they've got all the big guys on 3rd and short, stacked up.
There's like a lot of submarining going on here.
Hubie Oliver has the first down out close to the 30-yard line. Good effort by Oliver, number 34, the 3rd-year man from Arizona. So the 3rd period has come to a close, and that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score: the Chicago Bears 7, the Philadelphia Eagles 3. We now pause for word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Cadillac Motor Car Division and your Cadillac dealer. And by K-Care, where quality automotive parts and service are Kmart priced.
We're back on a wet day in Philly, and one thing for sure, even though they have only 3 points, the Eagles will have the ball for longer than they did last week against Dallas. They're now up over the 16-minute mark, and we are just beginning the 4th period. QB Oliver on first down swims his way for about 2 yards. I'm not sure whether that's the deep end of the pool out there or not. Terry Schmidt has come in to replace Jeff Fisher at the safety spot. Of course, he's normally a quarterback, Johnny, but
he has played some free safety. He's experienced at that position, and Jeff Fisher has gone for x-rays on his ankle, so he could have maybe a sprained ankle or hopefully not a broken ankle.
Oh boy, and of course Gary Fensick still out with a groin pull, and hard to know when he'll be able to play again. He tried it last week without success. 2nd and 8. Pitch out. Harry Harrington. Harrington gets out and may have the first down. He's tackled by Schmidt, number 44. And he gets out to the 40-yard line, but they'll mark it at the 39, so he'll be short by a yard.
Well, he headed north-south once he made the cut back up the field as they take the little pitch. Even on a wet day, they're still pitching the ball. Harrington cuts back as Richardson gets the block from Ron Baker, and Harry did a job, didn't he? Getting to carry the ball.
It is 3rd and less than a yard to go. Oliver on the wing right. They've got 3 running backs in. I'm sorry, that's Cab, number 84. This is Harrington with the ball, and he has a first down. Mike Singletary made the tackle on him. Well, it's been kind of an interesting season for Perry Harrington, who was a starter most of the strike-shortened season a year ago, but with Wilbert Montgomery out, they went instead to Michael Williams as Montgomery's replacement. They have not been terribly high on Perry Harrington. He himself said, I don't think they want me back next year. And now he gets some action and comes up with a couple of big plays for them. Now he's getting a rest. First down from the 42-yard line of the Eagles. Michael Haddix, the rookie from Mississippi State, who's had his problems in the early going, is in the lineup now. Play action. They fake the reverse to Carmichael. Jaworski intended for Haddix, and he caught the ball but out of bounds. Leslie Frazier on the coverage. A tough break for the rookie Haddix, and a fine pass from Jaworski, but the play is out of bounds.
Pretty good action on this as they fake the end around. You'll see the fake of the end around there to Carmichael, and here comes Haddix into your screen. And the pass, he was open. It just bent him too much to the outside, made the grab, but he didn't get the feet down. Tough play. When you get open like that, you got to hope the pass is there.
Perry Harrington is back in. Out to the right comes Quick. Out to the left, Carmichael. They're in the pro set with Harrington and Oliver. 2nd and 10. Eagles from their own 41. They trail 7-3. We're in the 4th quarter. Jaworski for Quick. Oh, incomplete. And I believe it just went right off Quick's hands. Unless Todd Bell got a hand in at the last second, I don't think he did.
I think it might have gone off his shoulder pad or the top of his helmet as Quick went straight down the field. And Richards on the coverage. As you can see, the pass blocking is excellent. They decided to go for the bomber, and the pass is there.
Excellent pass.
Excellent pass. And if I'm not mistaken, let's take another look. It might have gone right off the top of his head. It sure did. Right off the face mask and the top of the head.
Yep.
Yep.
Boy, oh boy. What an embarrassing development that is.
2 plays in a row where the Eagles came within a whisker of having the big play.
Now, meanwhile, we've got an injured Eagle being assisted off. That is the starting left guard, Steve Kenny, number 73, who was hurt during the pass blocking on the last play. Getting some help off the field. That should bring on the big rookie, Jim Fritchie, but we'll wait and see what the substitution is for the Philadelphia Eagles. So they've run into a couple of injury problems.
Now we have another passing situation. Let's see if they go to Vito Cab. He'll probably get one-on-one coverage with Todd Bell. Whether he can beat him once again, we'll find out.
It's going to be Jerry Feary, a rookie from Syracuse, coming in.
Now they got the 3 wideouts.
3rd and 10. Big play for the Eagles here. They're in the final period. They've got to keep the ball going. They trail by 4. Up the middle, and it is incomplete. Intended for Mike Quick, and either overthrown or a wrong route run with perhaps those route options involved that Ron Jaworski was describing to us, that the players can turn it off depending on the coverage that they read deep, and that may be what he's discussing with Coach Marion Campbell. So it is a punting situation, and the Bears able to stop the Eagles in a situation that was an important one for Philadelphia to keep possession of the football. It's been a problem for them throughout the game. Dennis McKinnon is back to receive again. The punt from Tom Skladany. McKinnon at the 23-yard line of the Bears. Skladany gets it to the 22, and McKinnon's got some running room, takes it back into the middle of the field to the 35-yard line, where he's met by Mark Slater, number 61, but good field position for Chicago. They have the football and a narrow lead, 7-3. 12:21 remains in the fourth quarter. Next Saturday, NBA begins its season on CBS Sports, and so does Ralph Sampson begin his rookie year in the NBA for the Houston Rockets, and he'll be facing a pretty good big man to find out what the NBA is like. Artis Gilmore will be tapping it off with him for the San Antonio Spurs with their new coach McCone, and so that should be an interesting game to start our NBA coverage on CBS Sports next Saturday. First down, Bears from their own 35. They give it to Suey. Suey has a good hold, gets off tackle to the right for a pickup of 5. Griggs, number 58, the linebacker, and Byron Darby, who has continued in there for the injured Dennis Harrison, who left the game late in the first half. Darby in on the tackle.
The Bears have used that play quite a bit with the action with Peyton going one way and bringing the off lineman to lead for Suey. It's been a successful play. Anytime you get 5 yards on first down, you've done the job.
Second down will be a long 5 where they spotted the ball inside the 40. And the wide throw set, straight deep drop by Evans. He's got a man open, and that is Suey, and he threw it high, incomplete. On the coverage, Randy Logan, the safety, coming over to pick up the fullback. It'll bring up third down. Well, again, similar situation here. The Bears don't want to give the ball right back to Philadelphia. They stop them, force them to punt, and quickly they're into a third and long situation of their own, and the Eagles send in a whole bunch of new guys. They'll go to a 4-man punt with Brown and Armstrong coming in.
One thing the Bears can count on is no blitzing. The Eagles have just maintained what they do normally, and that is very little blitzing.
They leave the 2 inside linebackers in when they go to this 4-man nickel package, as they call it. It's kind of different than other teams do. Robinson and Griggs stay in. Williams works them out of the shotgun on third down. And it is nearly intercepted. Intended for McKinnon. It was knocked down by Herman Edwards, who had a pretty good chance to catch the football. Looked like he just mistimed his leap for it. But it is fourth down. Chicago has to give the ball right back to the Philadelphia Eagles. Look at this. The Vikings and Green Bay. The Packers have got themselves back into the hunt here, 17-10. Lynn Dickey to John Jefferson in the fourth period. Cincinnati and Cleveland. That one looks like a fun football game. 28-21. Cincinnati in front of the Browns. Parsons to punt, standing at his own 25. There's Glenn Young deep. We saw him a moment ago. Parsons an end over end, pretty good distance on it. Young makes the catch and is hit immediately by Dave Dewerson, number 22, at the 27-yard line of the Philadelphia Eagles. 11:18 remains in regulation time after a 33-yard punt in the rain from Parsons. The Eagles will start from their 27.
That's exactly. I came out with that.
Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. First down for the Eagles, starting from a puddle area down there. A little casual water around the 27-yard line. Ron Jaworski brings them out. Hubie Oliver, Perry Harrington continues for the rookie Michael Williams, who hasn't been in the last couple of offensive series at running back. Play action, heat on Jaworski, and he throws it off in a hurry, intended for Oliver, incomplete. The linebacker, Dan Raines, was over on the coverage, number 53. The rush was led by Mike Hartenstein.
and a few others as the Bears put a blitz on that time. Mike Singletary blitzed, and they put the pressure on. The blitz didn't get there, but it disrupted the play, and that's one of the purposes. You don't always expect to sack the quarterback, but if you can get him to throw it wildly or case it, then you've done the job.
2nd and 10. I know fans of Ron Jaworski in the Lackawanna, New York area where he's from are hoping that things can go a little better for him here in the final quarter. We've got good-sized viewership up there today on our telecast. Hello to the Buffalo, New York area. Jaworski up the middle, complete to Harrington. Harrington has a first down to the 46-yard line of the Philadelphia Eagles. Todd Bell on the coverage made the tackle.
Harrington was on the wing, and he just went right down the field, and Jaworski watches the linebacker. Otis Wilson's on the chase. And Harrington takes a big pop and hangs on to the ball. Good play right down the middle, split the zone there. Todd Bell on the tackle. First down, Philadelphia.
At their own 46-yard line, they trail by 4, 7-3, 10:35 to go in regulation time. Heavy rain continues to fall, and a lot more water on the field in evidence. Harrington, a big hole up the middle. Perry Harrington, and the Eagles fans have got to be saying, hey, where's this guy been through the first 7 games? Why haven't we seen him? Harrington playing with a vengeance here. 2nd and a yard to go after a gain of 9 for Harrington.
Okay, watch Guy Morris. He's the center on this play. He puts on the double team, and you're going to see Harrington comes back against the grain as Guy Morris kept Dan Hampton, number 99, out of there with some help.
Todd Bell made a flying tackle from behind. 2nd and a yard to go. They give it to Oliver. What a good play. A quick start for Oliver, and another first down as the Eagles, who wanted to run, had failed to do so. Suddenly tearing up the middle of the Bears defense. A first down to the 33-yard line of Chicago. Terry Schmidt made the tackle.
Okay, you want to take a look at some blocking right up the middle. Look at that. Nobody there. No linebacker, nobody. Terry Schmidt has to make the tackle on Oliver.
Everybody bought that action to the right side, to the left of the Eagles offensive line. And the fake pitch. 1st and 10. Harrington plows for about 5. Inside the 30 to the 28. The word on Michael Williams. He has not been in the last couple of series. Apparently suffered a shoulder injury, the rookie from Mississippi College, who had been starting for Montgomery. So they've gone to Harrington, who has been waiting for just this opportunity to show that he can play and should be starting ahead of the rookie Williams, if not ahead of Wilbert Montgomery, which I'm sure he would concede, but Montgomery out with an injury.
The key for the Eagles here is hang on to the ball.
2nd and 7. There have been only 2 turnovers despite this rotten weather. A fumble by each team. Ruby Oliver. Oliver gets to the 25-yard line, grinding out 4 more. Mike Singletary, number 50, made the tackle there. Now, again, the Eagles with the most important 3rd down. 3rd and 3 from the 25 of Chicago. .7:58 and counting. Remaining to play in the 4th quarter. Quick to the left, Carmichael to the right. Do they throw, or do they stay with what's been going well?
I think 2 runs.
Pitch out. Harrington. He's got room on the corner. First down as Singletary makes a diving, sliding tackle through the water over near the sideline. But that opened up on that right side of the Bears defense.
Well, the Bears ganged up in the middle. Watch number 50. He has to go from his linebacker spot. That's Singletary. If he hadn't been out there, it would have been a touchdown all the way because Quick had taken his man out, and good play by the Eagles. They crossed him up, went to the outside on the pitch, even though it's a slippery day.
Harrington has now got 30 yards on 6 carries. A first down for the Eagles at the 20-yard line of the Bears. 44,000 who braved the wet and rain now getting into this game. Harrington trying to get wide, and a fine tackle by Dan Raines, number 53, who pulled him down at the line of scrimmage and held him to a gain, maybe even a loss of a yard. See where they spot the ball. Well, it'll turn out to be no gain.
lost his shoe on that one, as Dan Raines did make a heck of a tackle because he dipped to the outside and had some running room if Raines hadn't made the tackle. Now is the big call.
That was
second down and about 10 or 11.
That was a...
Will they choose to go to the air, or will they choose to figure the running back is going so well? I think they'll go to the air now.
2nd and 10. Almost intercepted by Wilson, intended for the tight end Cab. Wilson out all the way. John Jaworski keeping the hands warm for the next try.
A real shallow pattern as Otis Wilson is got to cover Cab. He stays with him, goes out to the jam outside, almost has an interception, would have gone all the way down the field had he caught the ball. But good coverage by Otis Wilson, who has been so close to interceptions the past few games, but can't quite hang on to the ball. Okay, Carmichael used to be the favorite on this kind of a situation, didn't he?
Williams and Dewerson are in defensively for the Bears. Michael Haddock's replaced Harrington in the backfield, and he's in the pattern. Jaworski to the corner for Carmichael, incomplete. Carmichael appeared to cut his pattern off instead of going right for the end zone. He may have thought he was in the end. That's not possible.
Well, he was double covered. He was double covered. The Bears figured they were going to throw to him. He had Richardson and Dewerson inside, outside. So Carmichael tried to ad-lib the situation. He didn't know where to go. And by the time he came out of the collision with the defensive backs, the timing was off. So now the Eagles are going to have to settle for an apparent field goal.
Well, I don't think Carroll's going to be greeted with a whole lot of friendliness back at the Eagles bench from Coach Marion Campbell there, because that pass could have been a touchdown. The ball was there.
But he collided. They collided on there. They got their feet tangled.
Tony Franklin, the barefooter from the 28. And the barefoot boy with Cheek comes up with a field goal, and so we've now tightened things up considerably. 6:02 remaining in the fourth quarter. Chicago 7, Philadelphia 6. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris, where you see the clock and the score that tell the story here on this miserable afternoon in Philadelphia. Tony Franklin's 38-yard field goal has got the Eagles back close, and while it appeared to me like they could have had a touchdown on the play to Carmichael, nonetheless they've reduced the margin to a single point. With 6:02 to go regulation time, we're in the anything can happen department. Franklin's kickoff is a good one down to the 2-yard line. Ricky Watts. Watts is dropped behind the 15-yard line by a diving Dennis Devon. And diving here means that you can also score some points into the pool, because they landed right in some of that casual water. Following our football coverage today, remember we've got quite a lineup for you as usual Sunday nights. The all-new 60 Minutes is on for the new season. Alice, One Day at a Time, the Jeffersons, Goodnight Beantown, and Trapper John M.D. And most importantly tonight, a new special at 11 o'clock Eastern Time with Dan Rather on the horrible events in Lebanon this morning. A special news program tonight at 11 with Dan Rather. First down. Chicago Bears in motion. Moorhead. The give is to Payton, trying to find daylight, get some, and is out to the 20-yard line. A gain of about 6 yards for Payton. Renard Wilson, number 22, making the tackle.
You know, we talk about the Bears. There's been a lot of talk about how they don't know how to win games. They can't win them when they really have to. Well, here's a situation where the drive is important. If they want to win this football game, they've got to keep the clock, keep the ball, drive down the field, eat up the clock, and kick a field goal. And this is what you call knowing how to win. This is when they have to do it. 2nd and a long 4. Payton up to 72 yards on his personal day, and he's carried 25 times. Payton again. Close to the first down. On the tackle, Jerry Robinson. He's probably seen enough of Walter Payton, who's now carried it 26 times today. Robinson would just soon look at the Bears highlights film as be chasing him all afternoon. Well, we talked to Jerry yesterday, and he was saying that he thinks that Payton is the best back that he has to go against, and he went against Tony Dorsett last week for Dallas.
Is there anything Payton can't do, he asked?
I told him he can't throw left-handed. Maybe I shouldn't say that till we find out.
Out to the left comes Gall, out to the right Marjoram. Third down, about a foot. Moorhead in motion. We'll give it to Payton. The Eagles made a great effort, but so did Payton, and he has the first down. They were in the right spot. They got the licks in, but they just couldn't stop number 34. First down.
A second and third effort by Walter Payton. Okay, now let's take a look at those linebackers of the Philadelphia Eagles. You see Robinson in there. He comes across, gets hit. Now Payton will come. He'll be hit right there. Now he's going to end up 2 yards farther down the field, only because he keeps his legs going and keeps driving, and he gets the extra yard or two. What effort.
First down, Chicago, a big one for them, obviously. 3:45 and counting. They lead by a point in the I formation. Suey with Payton. Deep drop, screen pass, Payton. Jerry Robinson dives out there and gets a mouthful of water as he knocks Payton out of bounds at the 33-yard line. It'll turn into about a 7-yard gain for the Bears. Reggie Wilkes getting in on it with Robinson. Wilkes, number 51.
3:19 left in the game, clock rolling, and they're a 2nd and 3 situation, so the odds are good for another first down for Chicago.
Second and a long 3, and of course each team has still got all of their timeouts remaining for this half. Philadelphia may be forced to use them if they can't stop the Bears. Slot formation to the left. Ricky Watts in motion, number 80. Payton. Payton gets to the 35-yard line, stopped short of the first down by about a yard, met by Robinson and Wilkes and Griggs, the linebackers, who take up most of the tackle duties in the 3-4 as they do around the league. Griggs has 70 tackles coming into today's game, and Robinson 63. They lead the Eagles in that department, as you might expect. Third and about a yard. Just a quick score here that I noticed: the New England Patriots leading Buffalo 21-0. Of course, Buffalo leading in the AFC East, so that's somewhat of a surprise at this point. They're in the fourth quarter.
Payton is now 28 carries for 80 yards as the Bears call a timeout.
Well, 3rd and 1. Again, you have to wonder about that situation. That should have been an Eagles timeout from the Bears' point of view, and they wind up taking one. We'll be right back. 2:13 remaining in regulation time. The Bears took a timeout. They've got themselves sorted out on 3rd and 1. Suey comes off. Dunsmore comes off. Johnny, I got to say, I mean, they had a whole timeout to get it sorted out. Now they've changed the personnel again with time back in. About to be.
Calvin Thomas, I believe, is the other running back with Payton. Ricky Watts is in there. 3rd and 1 plus.
They're 5 of 15, turning over 3rd downs. In motion, Watts behind the ball. Straight ahead for Payton, and he has the first down. They had Thomas in to block, and he goes quickly off. Watts goes out. There's a flag down, and apparently a little extra pushing and shoving along the line. It looks as though Emery Moorhead might have been involved in some of that, and there was a penalty against the Bears.
Oh, that's a big one. An unnecessary penalty. I don't know who it was on.
We'll find out from Dick Jorgensen, the referee. They had the first down yardage on the carry by Payton, and they're going to march that off. This penalty apparently came after the play was over. Whistle dead. So they've got the first down, but they're going to be a little farther back. Personal foul, obviously. It's being marched off all the way to the 23.
Oh, what a time to get something like that.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 87, offense, after the ball was dead.
87.
25.
Emery Moorhead. Emery's a very mild-mannered fellow. Something must have caused him to do that, but as what happens so many times.
Not now is when you let something cause it.
You wait till the game is over, but usually somebody does something, and the other fellow reacts, and then you get the penalty. But anyway, the Bears now are in a long-running situation. They don't want to throw the ball.
1st and 25, 2:02 on the clock. They lead by a point. Slot formation left. Suey gets about 4 over the 25. Well, they stayed with the run, which I'm sure would have been their play on first down up at the 38 where they had the ball. But now at some point they're probably going to have to throw. 1:57 as the 2-minute warning is sounded. Bears lead it 7-6. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris, we are back here where the wicket is getting sticky for you cricket fans. It is second down. No, there's a lot of those looking in. It's second down for the Bears at their own 26-yard line. After the 3-yard gain, they have still a long way to go.
You might say the season's on the line for Chicago, but Minnesota wins. The Vikings would be 6-2 in the division, and the Bears would be 2-6, 4 games out. So this is a must-win for the Chicago Bears.
Marjoram in the slot left, now in motion behind the ball. Suey and Payton, the running backs. Evans keeps, has a man open. Moorhead has the first down. All the way inside the 40-yard line. That was a perfectly executed play and a beautiful call under those circumstances. What a big play for the Bears.
And Evans was out like a shot, out on the rollout. The quick rollout, the reverse pivot, gets outside, and there's no pressure under him. Moorhead got out from the traffic and went down and split the zone right there. You can see a short man and the medium man and a deep man for the Chicago Bears. Moorhead just made sure of the catch and took it in. First down, Chicago. The Eagles are on the ropes now. Embry Moorhead, and it's kind of ironic, he's the man that caused the big penalty, comes back with the big catch.
Boy, I tell you, he's got to be feeling a whole lot better as a result of that. He was wide open. He made sure with the catch. Evans, you could see, really aimed the throw carefully.
He threw it softly, too.
Yes, he did. All right, let's take a look here as we have a timeout on the field taken by the Eagles. Miami whipping up on Baltimore 21-0. And, of course, Buffalo really being surprised into the fourth quarter by New England 21-0. And that makes a good situation for the Miami Dolphins. Next week, of course, we're going to have them here on CBS against the LA Rams. And the Dolphins could be 5-3 if they should win today. Buffalo would fall to 5-3 if they lose. And, of course, the Rams have been quite a pleasant surprise for L.A. fans in the West Division of the NFC. They are 5-2. And prior to that doubleheader action next week, most of you will see Detroit playing at Chicago. And depending on the outcome of this one, that could be another key game in the NFC Central. Or some of you will see Dallas at the New York Giants. That's next week on CBS. This week, we've got 124 remaining to play here in rain-soaked Philadelphia. A big, big play. Evans to Moorhead, a big call by Mike Ditka. Let's give the coach credit. Perfect execution. They each have 2 timeouts, but the Bears have the ball with a 1-point lead, and they are in Eagles territory. Slot left. Payton shut down. Good Eagles defense for them. Stripped through the offensive line, and it was Byron Darby, the rookie from USC, playing for Dennis Harrison, with Reggie Wilkes, number 51, the linebacker, who made the stop.
Now the Eagles have used their second timeout. They have 1 left, and the Bears are in a second down situation. So if they keep it on the ground, the timeout would probably be called with about 1:10. They could eat up about 30 seconds or something like that. If the Eagles stop Chicago, they're going to get the ball back, and that's what Marion Campbell is hoping for.
Loss of a yard on that play will make it 2nd and 11 when play resumes. Both teams have lost starters to injuries today. Came into the game with the starters hurt. The Bears lost Jeff Fisher, who was playing for Gary Fensick, and Dennis Harrison left with an injury late in the first half. He's been replaced by rookie Byron Darby. Of course, the Eagles have been struggling without Montgomery and Spagnola, and the Bears gone all of the season without linebacker Gary Campbell. So as usual, around the midway point, you start to look at those injuries and you see the problems and the effect that they can have on a team's success. Certainly has affected the Eagles offensively without Montgomery and Spagnola. They are struggling.
The Bears, you know, passing-wise, they haven't done much, but they've had 2 big completions, the touchdown and this one.
That's right.
Otherwise, it's been a running game and a ball control.
And a good running game for them, and they have to be pleased with that. Evans is 8 of 17 for 98 yards. 2nd and 11. Moorhead in motion.
Gonna go to the air.
Pressure on. Trying to find a man. He dumps it off. Suey Suey tackled by Ken Clark short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd and 5 at the 35-yard line.
Well, the Bears went to the air on 2nd down, and Evans was in all kinds of trouble, found Suey, and Ken Clark did a heck of a job because Suey had some running room, and a big old nose tackle got him before he could get down the field to get that first down. So we have a 3rd down situation, 1:06 left in the game, and I think that's the last timeout for Philadelphia.
They've used it up. The Bears have 2 remaining, and they hope not to use them. 1:06 on the clock. Eagles timeout. 3rd, and now they've spotted the ball actually at the 30-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd, nearly 7 to go. Well, we've got this break. Let's go to Brent Musburger in New York for an update. Football game. And of course, Atlanta trying to get themselves back into that really interesting NFC West battle. If they win today, they'd go to 3-5 and tighten everything up with the Rams and Niners and Saints. 3 wide receivers are in here. What do you do here, Johnny? It's 3rd down. You're at the 36 of the other team. You lead by a point. You want to keep the ball. What's your call?
Well, I'd have to keep it on the ground, but it looks like they're going to throw.
Well, maybe they'll hand it off to one of those wide receivers. Evans rolling, looking to throw. Under pressure, can't find an open man, is sacked. Oh boy, do not leave your sets. A big defensive effort by the Eagles all the way to the 50-yard line, and I believe that it was Hairston who actually got him, and if it wasn't Hairston, it was number 98, Greg Brown. But nonetheless, the Eagles did the job defensively. 4th down, and Parsons will have to punt it from back in his own 35. 58 seconds left.
The clock is now running. As you can see, Evans went out there, couldn't find anybody, and was sacked. The clock stops for a few seconds till they get organized, and then it has to roll, so it's down to 45 seconds.
Well, you know he's going to use it all up, obviously, but the Eagles will at least get 1 play, maybe a couple. Young is the deep man. Of course, I wouldn't be surprised to see him take the deliberate delay here either. Use it all up. He's got 4 seconds and counting. No, we'll go with it. Down to 25 seconds. Good kick by Parsons. Good kick, and it goes into the end zone. Dewerson in pursuit couldn't catch up to it, so the Eagles will have 19 seconds from their own 20-yard line. 50-yard punt by Parsons.
With no timeouts, I would say that Philadelphia's in trouble.
They are definitely in trouble, but at least they've got a shot as they stop the Bears from getting the first down, so they've left themselves with an opportunity as slender as it is. Of course, if they could get into field goal range for Barefoot Tony, but they've got to make a big play here. What they need is your basic miracle.
Well, they have 3 receivers all on this side, so it looks like they're going to go for the
miracle formation.
Yeah, the miracle formation.
All right. Jaworski gets some time up the middle for the receiver, Mike Quick, I believe. Yes, Quick got it in the middle, and he has a first down out to the 35. 6 seconds left and counting. And this is going to be the last gasp unless he can get it out. He does. So he's got 1 second on the clock. Well, I tell you, that might have been Jaworski's best pass of the day. He had to really zip it to get it out before the clock stopped. He's got a second before the clock ran out, get the snap up. And so he's got 1 second. They'll have 1 play. I don't think Tony can kick it from back there.
No, it's got to be the miracle play. The Bears have 3 men back at their own 35-yard line. How do you get behind them?
It's Frazier, Dewerson, and Richardson all lined up back there like punt returners.
And they have 3 men on front of the wide receivers down there, too.
Jaworski chuck it up there and hope for the best. Goes to the middleman Quick, and it is incomplete. The ball game is over. So the Chicago Bears have hung on to win a squeaker here in Philadelphia, a 7-6 football game. Not a thrilling offensive display in the rain at Veterans Stadium, but I think certainly for the Bears, the importance of the victory is enormous. And also, most importantly for them, is the fact that they got a running game going that they wanted to do, and a guy like Noah Jackson's got to feel good about the way he and his offensive line mates blocked for the running of Matt Suey and Walter Payton today. And they'll take a 7-6 victory. They'll take it 77-6 or 7-6, the way things have been going for the Bears. They've scored a lot of points and lost football games, so they'll certainly take this win home happily, whatever the score. We'd like to thank all of those associated with our coverage of the game in the rain today. Executive producer, Home and Dry in New York, Terry O'Neill. Senior producer, Charles H. Milton III. And here at the side, our producer has been Michael Burks this afternoon. And our director, direct from Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania yesterday afternoon, Larry Cavallina. Our associate director, Paul Arndt. And Joe Tier down to visit us here on a football telecast, and his outstanding technical staff. Bob Burnham and Edward Kushner are TDs, and we thank all of these fine men for getting soaked out there, many of them. Our camera crew, there they are with their slickers on today, and sticking with you to bring you the 7-6 ball game from Philadelphia. We are going to be back with some post-game comments here following the conclusion of our football game telecast. So we remind you that we'll have all of the scores and information from around the NFL today with our post-game show here on CBS Sports. Stay with us. That's when we can get them. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris, we are back at Veterans Stadium, where the fans have scurried out of here on this terribly damp afternoon, and they have suffered the disappointment of an Eagles defeat. Bears fans looking in are going to say, well, we'll take the win any way we can get it.